We got ourselves some blonde guy we've never seen before on screen. We've recently been flushing out exactly what our protagonist's role and place in society is after the absolute mess at the last village. Let's see if anyone will survive this third chapter. And we got some white guy with blonde hair, probably working for GHQ given the yellow. The pale yellow of wheat. This man's wearing a wheat-colored uniform and trying to make us take him seriously. Gotta say, not a great color. Enter.
大鳥かなえ注意並びに五丁大宮軍属長倉佐よただいま着任いたしました
Lieutenant Kanae Otori and Provisional Corporal Sayo Nagakura reporting for duty.
ご苦労俺の方も自己紹介が必要か
Another blonde hair, blue eyes guy? Okay. At ease, do I need to introduce myself? This is weird. Isn't this supposed to be Britain? Not. What is this? The place where all the... I thought GHQ was British, not Aryan, but here we are.
時間が有り余っているのであればぜひとも課長ウィロー少将閣下からは大まかなところしか伺っておりませんので
If you have the time, sir, that would be most helpful. General Willow didn't fill us in on all the details.
なら一応しておこうか幸いなことに今は暇だ昨日はすごいぞ3時間も寝た
Then I suppose it can't hurt.
それに勢力が頭髪に回ってないあの閣下との本当に大まかな話しかしてないだろうしな
Luckily for you, I'm not too busy at the moment. Why, I got a whole 3 hours of sleep last night, and I'm not surprised that His Excellency, the General, skimped on the details. Probably lost them with the greater part of his hair. They got all these blondes anyway. Yeah, there's a lot of blondes.
何とおっしゃっていましたかしら
What was it he said, Sayo?
注意機関に任務を与えるまた針だ機関はかの歴史的女狐の役を連盟軍において担う栄誉を得た喜んでくれるものと信ずるなおダンスの訓練は必要ない
Lieutenant, I'm giving you a new assignment, Matahari. You're to play the role of that most infamous vixen here in the AEF. I know you'll appreciate the honor, and don't worry, no need to brush up on your dancing. So, play murderous prostitute? Is that what we're getting? You know, for Japanese people, all Americans and Europeans are blonde.
以上でござ
I
います
see, I see. I mean, I know it, I'm just poking fun at it. That is all.
説明が足りてるとか足りてないとかいう以前の問題だな確信がついてるがねそれで
Well,
注意は何と答えた
the spacing between his sentences. Alright. Well, there are more problems with that explanation than I care to address. It does strike at the heart of the matter. What was your reply, Lieutenant?
グレタ・ガルボほどにうまく演じる自信はございませんけれどと
That I didn't think I could live up to the standards set by Greta Garbo.
そいつは大和人特有の謙遜か注意ならいい線行くと俺は思うがね半島の片田舎から乳牛と一緒に引っ張られてきたバイキングの子孫なんかよりずっと魅力的だ
Oh, is that the Yamato and humility I keep hearing about? If you ask me, you're perfect for the role. I'd pick you over a Viking farm girl and her cow any day. I see.
あらお上手うっかりとその気になってしまいそう私ったらおだてに弱くて
My.
でもおだてに乗ろうにも脚本がなくてはどうにもなりませんね
How kind of you. It makes me want to try twice as hard. I'm so very weak to flattery. Still, I can't play the part without my lines, can I?
分かってる順々に行こうクライブ・キャノンだ参謀第2部で資料管理課長を務めているだが課長とは呼ぶな言葉の響きがどうも肌に合わない
This guy's at least been introduced. He's being introduced. He says, we'll come here to that in due time. I'm Clive Cannon, Chief of the Data Management Bureau attached to 2nd Headquarters Division. Don't call me Chief, though. I've never been a fan of how it sounds.
中佐と呼んでくれればいい
Colonel will do.
で
Here's
こちら
my
は
aide.
俺のサポート
Don't call me boss, just call me Colonel. I see.
ジョージ・ガーゲット少佐だ。職務に関連する報告は主に私にしてもらうことになる。顔を合わせる機会も多くなるだろう。
Okay, that guy's Clive Cannon. And then this guy says, Major George Gargett. Most of the time, you'll be reporting directly to me. I'm afraid we'll be seeing a lot of each other. Okay.
いろいろ難しいこともあるかもしれないが、うまくやっていきたいものだな。注意。
No doubt there will be some difficulties, but we won't let that get in the way of our duty, will we, Lieutenant?
全く同意いたします。どうかよろしくご指導のほどを、ガーゲット少佐。
Certainly not. I look forward to working with you, Major Gargett.
握手は無用だ、大鳥注意。私はうまくやろうと言ったのであって、仲良くしようと言ったのではない。
No need to shake hands. That was an appeal to professionalism, Lieutenant, not an offer to make friends. I thought shaking hands was professional. Damn, I'm learning new things here. That might apply to my real life. Never shake hands with people.
あら、これは失礼をいたしました。
Forgive my forwardness.
ジョージ。
George.
何か問題でも、中佐
Is
殿。
there a problem, sir?
ま、こういうやつなんだな。あまり気にしないでやってくれ。注意。
He's like this with everyone. Try not to take it personally.
ご心配なく。私、全く気にしておりませんから。後で手を洗いに行く手間が省けましたもの。
Not to worry, sir. I'm grateful to be spared the necessity of washing my hands afterward. Ouch. Just casually roasting him.
そうかそうか。どうやらチームワークは完璧だな。俺はとても幸せだ。このまま少し待っていてくれ。ウィローの親父にサイパンへの転属願いを出してくる。
Should have waited. Alright, well, it looks like we're gonna be a great team. I couldn't be happier. Just wait right there while I go ask Willow for a transfer to Saipan.
大鳥注意への説明を先にお済ませください、中佐殿。
Please finish explaining the lieutenant's duties first, sir.
ああ、そうするよ、少佐閣下。レディ、この資料管理課についても簡単に解説した方がいいのだろうな。
I'll do just that, Major. Now then, Miss, shall I begin by explaining what it is we do here in the Data Management Bureau?
できましたら、中佐。
Please do so, Colonel.
ん？なんだか言いにくそうだな。子供の頃にうっかり中佐を生で食べて腹を壊したことでもあるのか？
You seem to have some aversion to the title. Did you get food poisoning from eating raw kernel as a child?
そうですね。先日まで中佐と呼んでいた人物に少々食傷気味だったことは否めません。
Well, I can't deny the last fellow I called Colonel was a little hard on the stomach.
ああ、コブデンのアホか。
Oh, that idiot Cobden.
中佐殿、いささか表現が直接的すぎます。
Perhaps you should exercise more decorum, sir. Cobden was the guy who was taking bribes from the prefect, right? I think that's him. She's gotten reassigned, presumably for interfering with his mine plan. I'm assuming that's what it was. And she should know what her actual job is already, right? If nothing's changing. Either that or this is somehow a flashback, but I don't think that makes sense.
じゃ、コブデンの教養失調症にしとこう。聞いているか、注意。実は君と前後して奴も民生局の席を失っているんだが。
Cobden the cognition impaired then. Did you hear, Lieutenant? He lost his position in civil affairs after what you did. Just after you did. Oof. She got moved and he lost his position. He lost his role. I mean, she got fired for helping people. Cobden, I assume, fired her for not being a horrible person. And actually doing her job. And then he probably lost his job due to corruption.
あら、それは初耳です。てっきり不出来な巡察官を更迭した功績で昇進でもされたかと思っておりましたのに。
Oh? I hadn't heard. I was certain he would be promoted for replacing an unruly inspector.
そいつが奴の最後の仕事になった。結末は惜しいから昇進ではなく左遷だが。
It ended
今
up
頃
being
は
his
横須賀
last
の
act
港
on
湾
the
基地
job.
で新しい椅子を痛めつけているだろうよ。
Unfortunately for him, his reward was a transfer, not a promotion. He should be wearing out his new chair in Yosuka right about now. He just got transferred, no demotion.
湾岸のリゾート地に赴任とはお羨ましい。ご栄転の理由は何なのでしょう。
Ooh, a posting to the famous Bayside Resort. I'm envious. What did he do to deserve such an honor?
収賄。建築企業、密輸業者、幕府の管理といった連中から小銭をもらって便宜を図ってやる副業に大変な熱意を持って励んでいたようだ。
His side job, selling favors, was showing entirely too much success. Call it performance above and beyond. The brass thought he should relax. He got caught for corruption and they thought it was too obvious, so they just moved him elsewhere.
あらあら、働きすぎがあだになるとはお気の毒なこと。
Oh my, so working too hard can be hazardous for your health. I feel sorry for him.
気の毒なのは民生局の他のお歴々だよ。奴のおかげでしばらくは副業を控えなくてはならなくなった。
Indeed. I feel sorry for the rest of civil affairs. Now they'll have to tone down their extracurricular activities for a while. I mean, you'd think they'd want to stamp that out, but apparently it's not that big a deal and they just need to slow it down a bit.
目立たないように隠蔽する程度の心配りをしてくれれば、監査部だって余計な残業をせずに済むものをさ。基地の電話を使うか普通。宮が王でも摘発しなきゃならんだろうが。
If only he'd managed to keep things under the table, internal affairs would have been happy to avoid the overtime. What kind of idiot uses the base telephone? It's like he was asking for an investigation.
堂々としていて結構ではございませんか。
Well, at least he was upfront about it.
その割に民生局から出ていくときは堂々というよりすごすごといった格好だったらしいがな。
Although now he's less
話がそれ
upfront
た。
and more of a creek. Anyway, back to the topic at hand.
注意。我々資料管理課の担う職務は何だと思う？
The Lieutenant, what do you think we do here in data management?
そうですね。私が思いますに、おそらく
Well, if I had to guess, I'd say
資料を管理するのではないでしょうか。
manage data, perhaps?
素晴らしい。まさに正解だよ、大鳥注意。君のように優秀な人材を見たのは初めてだ。
Splendid, you got it on the first try. I've never met a soldier so quick on the uptake. I'm pretty sure he's being sarcastic.
まあ、ありがとうございます。
Oh, thank you very much, sir.
ジョージ。話の輪に加わろうぜ。
Hey, George, feel free to join us.
はい、中佐殿。
I must respectfully decline, sir.
まあ実際そうなんだがさ。ただ一個抜けている。
That's exactly what we do. With one small addendum.
はい。
Yeah.
俺たちは情報資料を収集して管理する。この収集の方が実はメインの業務になる。オフィスにいつも人がいないのはそのせいだ。
We collect data as well as manage it. That happens to be our primary duty, which is why the office is always empty.
課の名前をつけるときに、ウィロー少々閣下はこの収集っていう要素の神を忘れたらしくてな。おかげで実情を知らない外部からは窓際呼ばわりだ。まったく迷惑してるよ。
General Willow forgot to add the word collection when he formed the department, and as a result, everyone thinks we're a dumping ground for unwanted personnel. It sucks, let me tell you.
なるほど。それでまた張りですのね。
Ah, so that explains Matahari.
なかなかやりがいのありそうなセクションだろ。だが俺の部下は奥ゆかしいやつばかりだ
I
ね。
see.
自分の仕事をよそに吹聴したがらない。
It's quite a rewarding
まあそうい
job.
う気風なんだろう。
As I'm sure you've guessed, I should warn you though, my men tend to be awfully shy. They don't like to speak of their work to outsiders. Call it a custom.
実は俺もそうなんだ。申し訳ないが大鳥注意。君もその気風に従ってもらう。チームワークだ。従えない場合はそうだな。なるだけ早めに言ってほしいね。
I'm the same way. To be honest, I apologize, Lieutenant, but I'm gonna need you to follow this custom as well. Teamwork and all that. If you foresee any difficulties, please tell me now. In other words, you can't tell other people what your job is, because they want it to look like they're just faffing about? Okay, what are they actually doing then?
先ほど君が羨んだ元上司のもとへ部下として返り咲けるように手配する。実は必要な申請書類はもう用意してあるんだが、さて、俺はこれをどうしたらいい？
Your old CO and commanding officer in Yokosuka. In fact, I've already drawn up the orders. What should I do with them?
まあ行き届いたご配慮痛み入ります。でもどうかご案じなく、私も奥ゆかしさにかけては最強と自負しておりますから。
I'm most grateful for the courtesy, but there's no need for concern, sir. No one does shy better than me.
オーケーオーケー。なら何の問題もない。どうだガーゲット少佐。彼女なら一流の仕事をしてくれると思うだろう。
We're gonna get along splendidly. What do you think, Major? Am I wrong to expect great things from her?
はい、中佐殿。召喚には若干の疑念があります。
If I may, sir, I have one small concern.
どんな？
Go ahead.
大鳥注意。
Lieutenant Otori.
はい。
There.
機関は先の巡察官任務において大和国の内政に対する介入を行った。
During your
その
last
点に間違いはないか。
During your last mission as an inspector, you interfered in Yamato's affairs. Is this correct?
ございません。
It is.
後悔、反省は？
Any regrets or reflections?
何もガーゲット少佐。
None, sir.
ならば釈明は？
An excuse, perhaps?
And so on.
See previous response.
中佐殿。
Colonel,
何かまずいことでもあったかい少佐。
is something the matter, Major?
大きな問題があるように召喚には思われます。
I believe this to be a serious problem, sir.
なあ問題はある。だがそいつは注意のことじゃない。
Oh, I agree there's a problem, but it's not with the lieutenant.
彼女のような人材を無意に遊ばせておいた無能こそ問題だ。だからそんなことにもなる。そして問題はすでに片付いた。そうだろう？
Ah,
そうだと思う。注意には何の問題もない。
I see. The problem is with the incompetent fools who failed to put her talents to good use. Idle hands are the devil's plaything, they say. But now that the problem has been dealt with, there's nothing to worry about.
しかし、
But sir,
大鳥注意。いや、大鳥かなえ城。大和人としての君に尋ねる。
Lieutenant Otori, or rather, Miss Kanae Otori, I ask your opinion as a Yamatoan.
ロシアとブリテン、友人にするならどちらがいい？
Russia or Great Britain, which would you rather have as a friend? I don't sit. It's like, what are you expecting the answer to be?
白熊よりはジョンブルの方が付き合いやすいのではありませんかしら、ミスター。
I think I'd pick John Bull over the White Bear, Mr. Cannon.
よろしい。大いによろしい。であれば大英連邦の提唱にて生まれた
Interesting way to
国際
speak.
東亜共栄連盟。ひいてはその冷夏にある我々 GHQ と大和国は良好な関係を築けるだろう。
Utori's way of speaking, where she rephrases everything as a metaphor, is interesting. We don't see too many people who actually speak like that in anime or visual novels. She's very specifically going out of her way to make a metaphor instead of saying anything specifically. She does that all the time. Kind of a nice quirk I haven't seen too much. Maybe it's common in a specific subgenre or something, but I'm not familiar with it, so it seems new to me. Very good indeed. I hope that understanding will one day lead to true friendship between our peoples.
もはや依存はないな、ガーゲット少佐。
Does that satisfy you, Major?
はあ、中佐殿がそのように言われるのであれば。
Yes, sir. If you insist.
やれやれだ。堅苦しい上官を持つのは厄介なものだな、注意。俺も堅苦しい部下を持っているからよくわかる。
It's tough having an uptight superior, isn't it, Lieutenant? I happen to have such a subordinate, so I feel your pain.
キャノン中佐、嫌いではありませんけれどもね。
Perhaps, Colonel, but I'm rather fond of such men.
そうか。だが私は機関のような部下を好まない。
Oh, are you? Well, alas, could do without a subordinate like you.
とても残念です。
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
紳士の対応ではないな、ジョージ。さて注意。今日のところはもう下がって構わない。だが明日から早速任務にかかってもらう。
Not very gentlemanly of you, George. Anyway, Lieutenant, that'll be all for today. Get some rest. You'll start first thing tomorrow.
はい。どのような任務でしょう？
Yes, sir. What will my mission be?
明朝口頭で発令する。だが概略はこの資料に記した。明日までに読んでおけ。読了後は軍機に従って処分すること。
Okay, I'll relay your orders verbally in the morning. For now, here's a basic outline. Read it tonight, then dispose of it per regulations.
はい。あ、こちらは？
Yes, sir. And this box?
新しい階級章だ。明日からはそれをつけてきてくれ。以上だ、大鳥大尉。
Oh, your new rank insignia. Wear them when you come in tomorrow. Dismissed, Captain.
は、
Sir,
失礼いたします。
please excuse us.
まだ何か言いたげだな、ガーゲット少佐。
Still unconvinced, Major?
キャノン中佐、あの大和人が信用できると本心からお考えですか？
Sir, do you truly believe we can trust that Yamatoan? His question made no sense, I gotta say. It's like your country has been occupied by the British. You're currently working for the British military. Your superior asks you, would you prefer to work with the British or the Russians? Like, what kind of answer is that? It's like, it's like, are you a traitor? No? Is that a trick question? Oh, good job. You're loyal. Like, what? Yeah, he might feel a bit sus at her. But it's just like, there's no way she would ever answer any differently unless she was like, you know, like smooth brain. She's got to be a complete dumbass to answer anything else. Oh, well. Do you really believe we can trust her?
大和人か。彼女は人種は大和人だがね。大和国民ではない。ハプスブルクで国籍と軍籍を取得して連盟軍に参入している。
Yamatoan? Well, she might be of Yamatoan heritage, but she's not a Yamatoan subject. She comes to us from the Empire of Habsburg, where she holds both citizenship and military rank.
中佐、自分が言っているのはそのようなことではなく。
Not what I meant, sir.
分かってる。だがこう考えてみろ、ジョージ。
I know.
彼女は果たして愚劣だろうか。
But ask yourself this, George. Is she a fool?
いいえ、黄色人種らしい陰湿な計算能力には長けていると思われます。だからこそ余計に。
No, she clearly exhibits the weasel-like cunning characteristic of the yellow races. This is precisely why and I'm just sitting here laughing, because these guys are dressed in yellow with yellow hair, and they're like, ah yes, the yellow races. I'm like, wait, what? This man actually has, like the guy on the left actually has yellow colored hair, not just like blonde. Like someone painted his hair yellow. You know, the actual color. And he's like, ah yes, the yellow people. And it's like, oh, it's like, I know what you mean, but still, dude, you look like the most yellow person I've ever seen.
ならば自分、あるいは大和にとっての損得も勘定するだろう。彼女の言葉を覚えているか？ロシアの熊よりは英国紳士。
Then trust she'll act in her
実際
own
それは
best
その通り
interests,
だ。
if not those of Yamato as a whole. Remember what she said? Better John Bull than the White Bear. She's absolutely right. What did you expect her to answer, my dude? You'd have to be dumb to say anything else.
ロシアに屈すれば濃度にされるだけなんだからな。中央アジアにかつて存在した諸国の現状が証明しているように。
If Yamato falls to the
六
Russian
原幕府に
Empire,
至っては問題外だろ。
all there awaits them is a life of forced labor. One look at Central Asia is enough to tell you that, and of course, submitting to the shogunate is out of the question. So the Russia and Britain are the two world powers, it seems, in this setting. As it looks like Central Asia is slave labor camp city for Russia. And Britain took over what? Most of Europe, North America, and Japan? Alright. That's so far what we know they have. But we know they have. I mean, I would assume that maybe South America is in Britain's hands too. And maybe Africa? Who knows? And then Russia is just like Asia. It's going full Asia. Alright.
彼女はよもや三者のうちからの恋人選びを間違えたりはすまいよ。それでよしとしておこうじゃないか。あとは、そうだな。
You won't make a mistake of choosing her bedmate. Let's be satisfied with that. Now the only thing left
彼女が賢すぎないことを願おう。そんなところだ。
is to pray she's not too clever.
やはり自分には
Sir,
もう言うな。少佐の懸念は胸に留めておく。
enough. Your concerns are duly noted.
は
Sir.
重要なのは駒の動きを把握して使うことだ。ポーンは前に一歩しか進めない。ビショップは斜めに走る。
Yes.
そいつを分かっていればいい。
We had Kinzo, and now we're having chess references. Is this Umineko? The important thing is understanding how your pieces behave. As long as you remember that pawns move one space forward, while bishops move diagonally, you're golden. Until you try to attack, that is, I suppose. Pawns attacking diagonally. Or double moving at the start. Or en passanting people who double move. Pawns aren't the... Pawns are like the least straightforward piece. It's always really weird, right? Like, you explain pieces. You never want to start with pawns, because pawns have like 4 different ways of moving. It's like, it's easiest to explain what, like, a rook moves like, or a bishop, and then you do the pawn. In my head, I always do the pawn last, because the pawn is never simple, even though there's tons of them on the field. Oh well. But yes,
その意味で
they
彼女も
do
あの
normally
痩
just
せこ
move
けた男
straightforward.
も全く同じことだ。そ
In
うじゃない
that
か。
sense, she's no different from that skinny guy. Understand?
はい
Yes.
それは理解できます
That I understand.
ならそういうことさ。
And let's leave it at that.
それにしても
はい
There.
ウィローの太鼓腹また張りとはよくも言ったもんだな。知ってるだろう。彼女がフランスで処刑された時の罪状は単なるスパイじゃない。
Okay, that's interesting. That voice line, I don't know if you noticed that, but I certainly did. It seems like the audio was dipping down and then returning to normal. That must have been the way they mixed it or recorded it. Maybe they didn't notice that, but it sounded a bit weird. At least in my ears. So, Matahari, is it? That fat bastard Willow has a way with words. You know the story, don't you? Matahari wasn't executed just for being a spy.
二重スパイだ。欧州史に名だたるかのバイタはフランスとドイツの双方に向けて足を開いていた。
He was executed for being a double agent. The most infamous of Europe's horrors spread her legs for Germany and France at the same time. Hey, doubling up on that paycheck seems good to me. It's said the Hachiman Shrine occupies the very heart of Kamakura. This is true geographically, historically, and politically. In the year 1723, 1063 by the Western calendar, Minamoto no Yoriyoshi, leader of the Seiwa Genji of Kawachi, built a shrine in Tsuruoka, yes, okay, to his clan's patron god Hachiman. This was the shrine around which approximately 100 years later his descendant Yoritomo erected the city of warriors, Kamakura. For the 800 years since, Hachiman's shrine has been the center of worship, not only for the Genji clan, but for all warriors of Yamato. As the present-day heirs to the Genji legacy, the Rokuhara shogun and his family are devout worshippers. Regular pilgrimages throughout the year, plus rituals to be performed on various felicitous or fateful occasions. Needless to say, these events are as much propaganda as they are religious observance. They never lack for pomp and circumstance. It's doubtless the reason the shrine's decor has grown more grandiose with each renovation. Visual majesty demonstrates political clout, after all. In a sense, he too is part of that decor. His Imperial Highness Prince Haruhiro, the youngest child of the previous emperor, and second in the current line of succession. His appointment as Master of Rituals at Hachiman Shrine is living proof of the shogun's piety and unwavering loyalty to the emperor. At least, that's the story. In actuality, of course, His Highness's presence is a symbol of Rokuhara's authority, which extends even to the sovereign and his family. The man beyond the bamboo screen is a hostage offered up by his brother the emperor in exchange for protection.
宮殿下、港影明を連れて参りました。
Highness, I've brought Minato Kageaki. I prostrate myself on the floor behind the commissioner, waiting silently for the prince to speak. Although I seem to be regarded as a guest here, it would be unthinkable to address an imperial personage before receiving permission. My wait is over before it begins.
おまさんが影明くんか。菊池所長からよう聞いてるえ。
Oh, so you're Kageaki, huh? Kikuchi's told me all about you.
ああ、どないした？
You okay?
お気になさらず宮殿下。単なる口頭令ですので。
Alright, pay him no mind, your highness. He's merely kowtowing.
ああ、そっか。礼儀正しい子やな。でもそんなに固くならんでもいいよ。
Oh, nice! What a polite guy! But feel free to relax a bit, kid. Highness. Shouldn't you relax a little less? I'm sorely tempted to reply. I refrain, as that would only cause the commissioner further difficulty.
初めて御意を賜ります。殺人容疑18件にて拘置中の未決囚、港影明。お招きに預かり、参上つかまつりました。
He says, it brings me no greater honor than to be in your presence. I'm Minato Kageaki, imprisoned and awaiting trial for 18 counts of murder. As your highness has commanded, I have come.
おもろいわ、この子。
This guy's hilarious.
あ、しもた。今の笑うところやない。
Crap, that wasn't a joke? Afraid not. Afraid not.
御意にございます、宮殿下。
Indeed, your highness.
すまんね、影明くん。とっぴな挨拶やったもんで、体が勝手にギャグやと思って反応してたわ。頭で考えるより先に。これからは気ぃつけるから怒らんといて。
Your greeting was so sudden I thought it was a gag. Instinct, you know. I'll try to keep a handle on it, so don't get mad, okay?
は。
As you command. I'm starting to wish I never left my cell.
自分が言える筋では全くありませんが、人死にに関わることなれば、いささか不謹慎に過ぎるのではないかと。
Now, I'm in no position to say this, but perhaps it would be best not to treat death as a joke, your highness.
影明。
Kageaki.
本当にな。これやからアホは困るえ。わし昔からこうでね。兄やんにも嫌われて都からほっぽり出されるし、こっち来てから幕府の連中にバカにされっぱなしやし。
You're totally right. This is why it sucks being stupid like me. I've been like this way ever since I was in diapers, you know? That's why my bro kicked me out of the capital and why the Shogun's men all snicker behind my back.
所長にも迷惑かけ同士や。おまさんもすまんな。今更やけど。
The commissioner knows how much trouble I can be, I guess. I should apologize to you too, though I kind of missed my opportunity.
迷惑などとは決して、宮殿下。
You've never caused me any trouble, your highness. The commissioner bows to the screen, and as he does, he shoots me a sidelong glance, its meaning not lost on me. So his highness understands the power of ineptitude. I'd wondered why this prince always seemed to avoid the shogunate's frequent efforts to keep the court in line, and also why the commissioner chose to serve him. Now I have the answer.
失礼をいたしました。毎殿の宮殿下より賜りし多くのご援助を忘れ、自ままに暴言を吐いたること、うしてお詫び申し上げます。
That's quite the apology. Forgive me. In forgetting the immeasurable aid your highness has provided me, I allowed myself to speak far above my station. I abase myself before you and offer my most abject apologies.
そんなこと言わんといてや。いつも世話になってんのはわしの方やないか。
Oh, don't say that. I'm the one who should be apologizing to you.
殺人の咎で獄にあるべき好みが、たびたびの保釈を許され、銀星号の追跡に向かうことができるのも、宮殿下と所長のご差配あればこそ。
Thanks to you and the commissioner, I've been able to pursue Ginseigo.
決してあだでは返せませぬ。
Damn, he's really going for a minute. Okay. When I should I'm able to pursue Ginseigo when I should by all rights never again see the light of day. I can never repay the debt I owe.
それそれ。銀星号事件の対応、いつもご苦労さんやね。
Yeah,
おま
that.
さんにばかりきついとこ任せて、ほんと申し訳ないって思うとるえ。
Thanks for all your hard work on this Ginseigo case. I feel bad leaving everything to you.
かようなお言葉はあまりに過分。もとより我が身のことなれば、我が背に負うは当然至極。
I am wholly undeserving of such words. This matter originated with me, and it's only proper I should shoulder the burden.
未だ解決へ至らぬ不手際を叱責いただくがそう。異論などはふさわしからぬかと。
My inability to settle it thus far deserves only censure and by no means praise.
菊池、
Kikuchi,
は
Highness.
厳しい子やね。
He's so serious.
面目次第もなく比例の段どうか平に。
Much to my embarrassment, allow me to apologize for his rudeness.
いや、責めてるんやないよ。責めてるんやないけど、
No, no, I'm not complaining. It's just
影明君、
Kageaki.
Oh.
Highness.
なんでおまさんなんやろうな。なんで他の誰かやのうておまさんなんやろ。神さんも意地が悪いわ。
Why'd it have to be you? Out of all people in this world, why you? The gods are truly cruel.
そのお言葉は、殿下。どうか、罪なくして我が手にかかりし人々にこそ、お下しあれ。
Highness, please reserve such words for those innocents who died and will yet die at my hand.
自分ではありません。彼らこそが、
It is they, not I, who deserve your pity.
そうかもしれんな。
Maybe you're right. Maybe
そ
you're
うか
right.
もしれん。なあ、影明君。
Hey, Kageaki.
はい。
Highness.
今日来てもらったんは、その辺の話も聞きたかったからや。おまさんの口から直にな。
Why I asked you here? I wanted to hear about it straight from the source.
所長から報告は受けてる。けどまた聞きになるとな、どうしても遠い。匂いがしてこんのや。他人事じゃあかんのに、他人事としか思えんようになる。
Kikuchi gives me reports, but it's different hearing it secondhand. There's no smell. Without that, it feels distant, like someone else's business, even though it's anything but.
それが怖い。わしは知っとかんとあかんと思う。自分が何をやらせてるのか、ちゃんとな。
I don't want that.
どう
I
や
need to
ろ
know
影明君。
what's being done in my name. Every detail.
嫌なお願いしてるな、わし。わかってる。わかってるんやけど、
I know I'm asking a heck of a lot here. I know.
わしは自分の責任を果たしたい。これは銀星号の件に限った話やないけどな。
But I want to do my duty. Though that doesn't apply just to Ginseigo. In all honesty, I'd like to decline. His Highness would not press the issue. Or likely wouldn't. Ginseigo's is my problem, mine alone. Nothing anyone says will get me to budge on this point. It's preferable, therefore, that His Highness feel my activities distant. I see no reason to close the distance. However, as I myself said moments ago, it is the Prince's extra-legal authority that has allowed me to leave my cell and hunt Ginseigo. In that sense, I'm exactly like an armor racer who needs a corporate sponsor to pay his maintenance and entry fees. When the sponsor asks to see under the hood, you don't say no. I start from the beginning, one event at a time, all the while taking care to let as little emotion as possible enter my words. After I've finished, the Prince calls for tea. It's quite irregular to share tea while separated by a screen, but the natural ease with which the Commissioner and His Highness sip from their cups suggests it's customary for them. Following suit, I relax my posture slightly and take my cup in hand. Plates of tea cakes have also been set before us.
安直な感想はやめとくわ。またアホっぷりを晒すだけやろしね。
I'll keep the cheap comments to myself. Wouldn't want to look like a fool twice in one
引
day.
っかかることだけ言え。
Let's get right to the problem, okay?
Huh.
Highness. I couldn't have asked for. I could
ま
not ask
ず
for.
銀星号はどこにおるんやろな。それと、反町っちゅう筋もんは何やろ。えらいきな臭いやないか。
First, where is Ginseigo hiding? Second, what's up with this Sorimachi? He's way too suspicious. By coincidence, that is exactly what the Commissioner and I were discussing last night, or perhaps coincidence is the wrong word. It's only natural the Prince would reach the same conclusion given the same information to work from. His arrival at this conclusion, however, was faster than I might have expected. It seems he does indeed possess a keen mind.
ただのカスヤクザとしか思えんのに、妙に派手に立ち回ったり、進駐軍から剣を持ち出したり。どうも気になるわ。
So we have this guy who seems like he's just some punk, but you say he's doling out Tsurugi? It just doesn't fit. Yeah, the guy's got his hands on at least 2 actual Tsurugi. But he's still driving a regular... He's actually still driving a regular-ass, mass-produced motorcycle?
銀星号のことはわかりません。しかし、その男については推測があります。
I can't answer your questions about Ginseigo, but I do have a theory regarding Sorimachi. This must be what he mentioned yesterday.
おお、なんや、懐かしい口の聞き方するやないか。よう聞かせてもらおうか、連隊幕僚長。
Oh yeah? Okay, that confident tone of yours sure brings back memories. Let's hear your expert analysis, Chief.
幕僚
Chief?
おお、影明君は知らんか。わし、これでも昔は戦場に行ったりしててな。まあ、提出の義務ってやつや。その時面倒を見てくれたんが、この菊池所長。
Oh. Okay, you didn't know? It might be hard to believe, but I spent some time on the battlefield many years ago, part of the Imperial family's duties and all. Kikuchi here was regimental chief of staff. He looked after me.
鉛玉の飛び交う地獄で、右も左もわからんでいるわしに、辛抱強を突き寄ってくれてな。優秀で働き者の幕僚長がおらんかったらって思うと、ゾッとする。一生の恩人や。
I didn't know my left from right in that hell, but he guided me through the storm of lead and out the other side. I shudder to think what might have happened if he hadn't been there. I owe him my life. So that's why the prince likes him. Okay.
そのようなことは、私こそ殿下のお引き立てがなければ、退役後に警察で職を得ることはできませんでしたよ。
Not so, Your
上
Highness.
の連中には嫌われていましたからね。
Why, if not for your support, I never could have joined the police force after my discharge. I wasn't much liked by the brass. Their conversation took on a friendly, relaxed tone. I never knew such history existed between them.
お互い様ってことかね。ちょっと話がそれてるわ。
Oh, what are
それ
friends
で
for, right?
推測ってのは何なん？
Sorry, we're getting a bit off track. Let's hear this theory of yours.
私が思うに、反町という男の真意を図るには、GHQ の存在をまず視野に入れねばなるまいかと。
Yes, Highness. In order to understand this man Sorimachi's purpose, I believe we must first look at GHQ.
むしろ主体は、
If I'm not mistaken, the true...
ちょっと待ってくれんか、所長。
Hold it right there.
は
Pardon?
後にしとこう思うてたけど、そういう話になってしまうんやったら、先に済ませておかんとならんわ。おーい！
I thought I'd leave this for later, but if that's what you're talking about, we should get it out of the way first. Hey! The prince claps his hand to summon a servant, who vanishes after a few whispered orders, the patter of his footsteps quickly receding into the distance. After a few moments of silence, footsteps approach once more, and this time 3 sets. The door soon slides open, making nary a sound, but the servant is nowhere to be seen. He knows better than to draw attention to himself, and the 2 people he was escorting enter the room.
早速のお呼びと伺って参上いたしました。毎度の宮殿下。
I've come as summoned, your high...
あら？
Oh?
まあ、
Hi.
これは
Lieutenant Otori Kanae and her maidservant Nagakura Sayo. Not nearly enough time has passed for me to forget them, if forgetting such people were even possible. To begin with, wait, why are they here?
やっぱ知り合いかい。さっきの影明君の話に出てきた GHQ の大鳥巡察官ってこの人なんやろ？
So you do know each other. I guess this is the inspector you mentioned in your report?
はいまさしく
She is.
しかしなぜこの方々がここに
What are they doing here?
いやー、ほんのついさっき、今日の昼前のことなんやけどね。ああ、かなえさんにおさやさ。その辺好きに座ってください。今、茶運ばせるから。
Well, you see, they showed up around noon to... Kane, Sayo, have a seat wherever's comfortable. I'll call for tea.
どうかお構いなく。本当にあっという間に再会が叶いましたね、影明様。
Don't mind us. We really did meet again, darling. And so soon, too. Yes.
赤い糸の導きというものでございましょう。
You must be soulmates, mistress.
もうバーやったら嫌な人。
So naughty, Sayo. You're so naughty. Sayo's pairing them together. What do you think? Otori and Kageaki? We don't really know why Kageaki is killing anyone. Or why he is in jail for murder if he actually killed anyone. I mean, presumably he might have. Whether that was under the influence of Muramasa or not, no, we don't know.
なんや、ずいぶん仲良しさんやないか。隅に置けんな、影明くん。
You two seem awfully cozy. Not bad, kid.
宮殿下
Highness?
ああ、うん。昼前にこの二人がわしんとこ来てな。何の御用か聞いてみたら、八幡宮漬けの将校として着任しはったっていう話でね。
Oh, right. So anyway, they showed up around noon saying they were GHQ's official liaison to Hachiman Shrine.
は
I
あ
see.
なるほど
GHQ がそういうのをよこしてくれるって話は前からあったやろ。その人選がやっと決まって、この二人が来たってことみたいやわ。
Remember there was some talk about this before? It looks like they finally picked someone to fill the position.
わしすっかり忘れてたよ。
I'd totally forgotten about it.
当方の不手際で宮殿下には不自由をおかけしてしまいました。申し訳ございません。
Allow me to apologize on behalf of GHQ for not informing you in advance. So, literally 2 seconds before they were going to be like, so... GHQ is probably planning to destabilize Yamato and take it over by making the Rokuhara look bad. They might even be supporting Ginseigo or creating it in the first place. They call in the GHQ rep. Interesting choice. Okay. Anyway, an apology for not informing you in
いやいや、
advance.
気にせんといて。わしが進駐軍の元帥様でも、わしのことは放っとくと思うい。何の役にも立たんアホのおもりなんて、誰もやりたがらんやろしな。
No, it's cool. If I were GHQ Supreme Commander, I'd have ignored me too. Who wants to babysit a useless fool of a prince?
かなえさんもご苦労なこっちゃ。貧乏くじ聞かせてしもうたな。
Sorry, it had to be you, Kanai. You sure drew the short straw on this one.
そのようなこと。進駐軍司令部はこの国の政局で重責を担われている毎度の宮殿下のことを常に気にかけております。
Oh, not at all. High Command has always been concerned for your Highness, given the important role in Yamato's government. Important role in his governance. Alright.
私の職務は司令部を代表して宮殿下のおそばに仕え所持に便宜を図ること。きっとお役に立ちましょう。殿下におかれては心置きなく何なりとお命じくださいまし。
My mission is to represent GHQ at your Highness's court and to offer any and all assistance that may be necessary. Please don't hesitate to make your requests known.
そうですか。それはありがたいお話や。なあ、省長。
I see. That's quite generous of you, isn't it, Commissioner?
はあまったく良い人が来てくれたものです
We're glad to have you. The three exchange amicable smiles, seemingly unperturbed by the tension choking the air. Yeah, that's pretty awkward, right? It's not surprising they would be so circumspect given their respective positions. I understand now why the prince cut the commissioner off as soon as he mentioned GHQ.
なんかみんな中途半端に面識があるみたいやけど、一応紹介はしとこうか。港影明くん。これはええな。で、こっちが鎌倉警察署の菊池署長。
Everyone seems to know each other, or of each other at least. Let's do introductions anyway, though. This is Minato Kageaki. You've met. This is Kamakura Police Commissioner Kikuchi.
はい。以前に一度式典の場でお見かけしたことがあります。
A pleasure. I saw you once before at an official function.
おやそうでしたか
Oh, I'm afraid I don't recall.
菊池はわしの長年の友達や。影明くんはその部下で、あの銀星号事件の捜査に当たってくれてる。いろいろあって立場はちょっとややこしいことになってるけどな。
Kikuchi is an old friend, and Kageaki is his man, and he is working to end the Ginseigo massacres. His position is a little complicated, you might say.
非公式のおまわりさんですのでしょ。先日お会いした折に伺っております。
An unofficial deputy, was it? He spoke of it during our previous meeting.
ならええわ。んで所長、こちらは GHQ から出向の八幡宮漬け将校、大鳥かなえ大尉や。後ろは長倉さよさん。
Great, great.
昔からかなえさんに仕えてる人で、今は軍属身分なんやて。
Commissioner, this is Captain Otori Kanai, the GHQ liaison to Hachiman Shrine, and behind her is Nagakura Sayo, her longtime servant, currently a civilian employee of the military.
は
A pleasure.
大尉 昇進されたのですか？
You've been promoted? I mean, that's one way to get people out of your hair, just promote them. I shift my gaze to Miss Kanae's collar. 2 new rank insignia glitter there.
おめでとうございます。
Congratulations.
ありがとうございます。お給料は大して増えないのですけれどもね。
Thank you. I'm afraid I don't get much of a raise, though.
そらあかんな。薬料とかは。
Oh, that's no good. How about an assignment bonus?
残念なことに。
Unfortunately not.
よっしゃ、ならこうしましょう。わしのお世話をしてくれるんやから、その分のお金はわしが出そうやないか。
Alright, let's do this. You're helping me out, so I'll pay you the bonus you deserve.
あら、お気前のよろしいお方。私、籠絡されてしまいそう。
My, how generous of you. I think I'm falling into your pocket already.
ようございましたね、お嬢様。きっと横須賀送りも近うございますよ。
Well done, mistress. You're one step closer to Yokosuka.
宮殿下、お言葉を慎まれます。今のご発言は法規に照らせば贈収賄に該当いたします。
Take it back, your highness. What you said can be construed as bribery.
そうですか。
Right,
けど
right.
すんまへん。
My bad. What could be so frightening about Yokosuka?
大取りたい。少々伺いたいので
Yeah,
す
her
が、
old commanding officer's there. She does not want to be there. May I ask a question, Captain?
はい、なんで
Please.
先ほどのお話では、宮殿下の所持に便宜を図ることがあなたの職務とか、より具体的には
You said your mission is to offer assistance to His Highness. Could you be more specific?
あなたの権限と言い換えても構いません。
In other words, what authority do you possess? That is the pressing question. It would be disastrous if, for example, she were to sit in on all the prince's meetings. That would essentially make His Highness a prisoner of GHQ. In any case, the commissioner must know her position if he is to work around it. However, the captain's reply is entirely unexpected.
特に規定はありません。
My orders aren't that specific.
は
Pardon?
そうですね。権限といったものは全くないと言って差し支えありませんでしょう。そもそも宮殿下との協議もなく設置された職なのですし。
I suppose you could say I have no authority. I was, after all, assigned without consulting His Highness.
いきなりやってきて権限をどうのこうの言えるはずがありません。
The unthinkable to simply show up and start throwing my weight around.
それはそうですが、
That's true. That's true, yeah? It's the reasonable position, of course, but for a GHQ, it would be easy to sweep such reasonableness aside.
どうか額面通りにお受け取りくださいな。私は殿下のご要望に従い、お暮らしをサポートするだけです。こちらから細々とうるさく指示を出すようなことはありません。
I have nothing to hide. I'm here to carry out His Highness's wishes and support you in any way I can. I have no intention of playing backseat driver. Yeah, but what is the reason you were placed here? Presumably to monitor what the prince is doing? I assume that's why she's here. It's like she got sent here and it's like, yo, work with the prince. He's smarter than he seems, and figure the fuck out what he's doing. So that we have information on what's going on. Right? That's why I assume her role is here. But the fact that she's not given authority means she might miss out on things, but maybe they just want her to passively collect information they can get. Do the obvious stuff that, you know, you have to be in the room for, but like people wouldn't care too much if you knew. Might be enough. The commissioner does not reply, but the wrinkles at the corner of his mouth tell me things have gotten complicated. I can imagine what he's thinking. If the captain claimed some specific authority, then no matter how stifling it may have been, there would have been a way to use it to our advantage. To possess clearly defined authority is to be unable to act outside the authority. If, however, one's job description is vague, say, offer any and all assistance that may be necessary, for example, then the scope of his or her authority is open to interpretation. She says she has no right to compel, but given the balance of power between the Imperial Court and GHQ, she might as well have claimed unlimited authority. Much depends on Captain Otori's personal stance. Is her loyalty to the West absolute? Well, I have reason to believe that may not be the case, but much remains uncertain.
そうか、わしの生活をサポートしてくれるんか。これはええ話やね。こんな美人さんが朝から晩まで風呂から寝床までずーっと一緒に。
You're gonna serve me, are you? Well, that's wonderful. I get to have a beautiful lady wait on me hand and foot all day long, even in the bath and in bed.
ええ、宮殿下。ふつつか者ですが、よろしくお願いいたします。
Yes,
何
Your
なりと
Highness.
お命じくださいまし。
I do hope I won't be a burden. Please feel free to request anything you desire.
このバーヤに
Of Sayo.
かしこまってござります。
Ready and willing, Your Highness?
あんたかい
You? I bite back a resigned smile. The prince has made several valiant attempts to draw further information from the captain, but her veil remains unpierced, and I doubt this will change.
アドバイザーのようなものと考えればよろしいのでしょうか。
So we can consider you an advisor.
そうですね。そのようにお考えいただいて問題はないと思います。
Well, I don't see any problem with that interpretation.
了解しました。しかし派遣顧問官ということであるなら、その意味は派遣元がどのような意味を持つかによって定まります。
Understood. However, the purpose of an advisor is determined by the purpose of the body from which she's sent. So who sent you? And that'll give us a clue as to what she's trying to do, I guess.
大尉にお尋ねしたい。GHQ はヤマトにおいてどのような意味を持つのですか？
So I ask you this, Captain. What is GHQ's purpose in Yamato? The commissioner loses a straight fastball, having determined the fancy maneuvers are futile. And the captain's swing sends it screaming right back at the pitcher's head.
侵略者です。
Oh, conquest.
過去と未来においての。ええ、未来。
As it was 6 years ago, nothing's changed.
GHQ は現在、この国の内政に対してほぼ一切の干渉をしておりません。進駐軍はただ進駐しているだけの存在。巷では撤退も近いと噂されているとか。
Presently, GHQ chooses to keep its involvement in Yamato's affairs to a minimum. The garrison just sits there collecting dust. There's even rumors a withdrawal is near.
もちろんそのようなことはありません。皆様ご承知の通り、
These rumors are completely false, of course, as you well know.
6年前、国際連盟軍は幕府による大和統治を条件とした六原の降伏を受け入れて大戦を終結させました。
6 years ago, the AEF accepted Rokuhara's surrender, which carried the condition of shogunate sovereignty and thereby brought an end to the war.
しかしそれは連盟軍の、はっきり言ってしまえば大英連邦の思惑とは大きく異なった結末。世界の盟主を辞任する彼らにとって極東大和の完全占領は必須だったのですもの。
This result, however, differed considerably from the Allies' original plan, or more accurately, from Britain's. Yamato is the gateway to the Far East. Total control of it is essential to Britain's dream of world conquest.
最後の敵、ロシア帝国のこれ以上の拡大を阻止するために、大和を放置してはロシアが切望する南洋への脱出港になりかねない。征服、あるいは同盟という形で。
Their last enemy, the Russian Empire, must be contained at all costs. If Yamato is left alone, it could provide an avenue for Russia to expand into the South Pacific. And a communist uprising in Russia is unlikely, given that Tsurugi cost $1 billion to make, and are personally worn by their best fighters at all times. Very hard to have peasant rebellions when the upper classes literally have superpowers. I see. No commies here.
そうなれば大英連邦が世界規模で成功させつつある対ロ封鎖網も水泡に帰してしまいます。こんな危険を彼らが看過できるはずもなし。
Britain has gone to great lengths to keep Russia from expanding its borders. If Yamato falls under Russian control, it will all have been for nothing. They can't allow this to happen. Do you remember that Russia and Japan more or less share a border? They're very close to each other in terms of geography. I believe Japan fought at least one war directly against Russia. And there's currently Japanese islands under Russian control that have been so for the last, 60 years, in real life that is. And yes, they are still Japanese islands, because that's what the law says. They can't allow this to happen. Although, at this point, it might as well be Russian islands.
にもかかわらず戦争終結を外じたのは六原の和平提案によって連盟各国で一気に高まった厭戦感情を抑えられなかったから。前線及び後方の疲弊もあったでしょう。
That they chose to accept a conditional surrender nevertheless was due largely to war weariness. The troops were exhausted from years of conflict, and Rokuhara's offer of peace played directly on the Allied powers' desire to end the war as soon as possible.
それに加えて現状下において大和の武力占領を強行した場合、極めて長期にわたって抵抗が続くという予測もありました。
In addition, analysts predicted any attempt to take Yamato by force would face heavy, entrenched resistance.
対ロシアの共闘歩が欲しい大英連邦にとってそれでは不都合。むしろロシアの前に麹を投げ出すも同じとなれば
And a protracted
逆効果も
campaign
い
would
い
have
と
been
ころ
problematic for Britain,
ですか。
which desperately needed an eastern base of operations. It might have even given Russia an opening.
はい、まさにそういった事情から6年前の講和は成立しました。
Precisely. With these factors in mind, it's easy to understand why Rokuhara's demands were accepted.
けれど無論大英連邦 GHQ は諦めたわけではありません。今一度大和において軍を動かし完全占領を成し遂げるために布石を打っています。
But of course, Great Britain hasn't given up. For 6 years, they've been laying the groundwork for a renewed invasion and the total conquest of Yamato.
六原の圧政に対する黙認はその一つ。 GHQ は待っているのです。大和国民の幕府への憎悪が沸騰する瞬間を、国際世論が大和解放を訴える瞬間を。
That's why they've granted the oppressive Rokuhara shogunate free reign. GHQ is waiting patiently for hatred of the shogunate to boil over and for the international community to demand Yamato's liberation. That's how they're waiting for other countries outside Britain to agree that someone should do something about Yamato because they're getting destroyed by the Rokuhara. But when would that ever happen? There's like no communication. There's like no communications tech. Does GHQ run their own news reports on what the Rokuhara are doing or what? Like the Rokuhara control the news in Yamato. Or at least spin it the way they want to. Oh well, maybe the tasteless decisions of Rokuhara end up getting spread outside Yamato, and that leads to someone else demanding change.
誰にも後ろ指を刺されない正義の戦争の火蓋を切る時期を。
No one will protest if they're fighting for justice and freedom. The truth she lays out for us doesn't in itself come as a shock. It's common knowledge, at least for anyone who pays attention to world affairs. It's simply that no one dares to speak it aloud, which is why we're unable to conceal our surprise that the captain, a GHQ officer, would do so.
大変率直なお答えです。しかし大尉、今のご発言はあなたの GHQ に対する批判認識から来るものと受け止めてもよろしいのですか？
Thank you for the unexpectedly candid answer. Are we to take your words as evidence of dissatisfaction with GHQ's policies?
とは言いかねますかしら。このまま六原の好きに任せる、あるいはロシアの属国になって全国民が濃度化される。
I'm afraid I wouldn't go that far. Submission to Rokuhara or life in a Russian labor camp.
そんな可能性に比べれば大英連邦の傘下の方がまだしもと考えてしまいますもの。第4の道があればまた話は違いますけれどもね。
I
宮
must
殿下。
admit, compared to those two possibilities, the Queen's rule seems far more pleasant. Of course, if there were a fourth option, it might be worth considering, wouldn't it, Your Highness?
こんなところでお答えになりますかしら、鎌倉所長。
Does that answer your question, Commissioner?
はい、ありがとうございます、大尉。あなたの意味はそのように心得ましょう。
Yes, thank you, Captain. I will consider your purpose to be as you have just described. The Commissioner looks away. There must be nothing more to get out of the Captain. Though the Prince's face is hidden behind the screen, I can feel his frustration. Deception concealed in honesty, and honesty concealed in deception. The Prince isn't the only one thrown off by the Captain's methods. I imagine she's doing it deliberately, of course, or does it simply come naturally to her? Perhaps she's purposely conducting herself without concern for her position, knowing exactly what effect her unmasked approach will bring. A planless plan? Oh man, she's getting to me too. Now, how will His Highness respond?
そういうことであれば、大尉。あなたにぜひともお願いしたいことがあります。
Well, in that case, Captain, there is something we very much would like your help with.
はい。
Pardon? I'm surprised by the Commissioner's tone. There's no doubt in his voice. It's as though he knows precisely what course to take.
影明はすでにあなたの知遇を得ているようですから、ちょうど良いでしょう。
You and Kageaki are already acquainted. It's perfect. Why has my name come up? Why is my name coming up? Oh no, they're gonna send us on a mission.
大鳥大尉、この港影明が担当している銀星号対策にご協力をいただきたい。
Captain Otori, I would like you to assist Kageaki in ending the Ginseigo massacres.
Huh?
What? You didn't see that coming, Kageaki, when your name was brought up?
はあ。
I see. The captain and I are equally taken aback.
知っての通り、銀星号事件は恐るべき最悪。誰彼構わず大和の大地の上に住まう者すべてを餌とする強変です。宮殿下のご心痛は一方ならず。
See, the thing is, although this sounds real helpful to us, it's more useful to the commissioner because this means they basically they can't propose that they can't say or do anything too suspicious with me or with us, the protagonist, Kageaki around, because the captain's gonna be with us. But that also means she's gonna be out of town whenever we are out of town, right? So they'll be out of the prince's hair, and he'll be able to act more freely, right? Because he won't be tracked by the captain. That's presumably the plot, right? Pair her off with someone, then you always know where she is, because you're informing on each other, and you know where Kageaki is. That could work. Okay.
六原に睨まれる危険を押して、この影明を抜擢し、対処に当たらせておられます。しかしこの者も才に限りある身。単身ではなかなか解決には至らず。
His Highness is most grieved by this matter of Ginseigo because it kills anyone regardless of affiliation. Yeah, that makes sense. So much so, in fact, he's willing to risk drawing Rokuhara attention by sending Kageaki to hunt Ginseigo down. Unfortunately, Kageaki is not omnipotent and he's had difficulty making progress on his own.
心利く者を補佐につけたいとは、かねがね考えておりました。先ほどからのご様子を拝見するに、大尉のような診療の方であればまさに死闘。
I've been looking for a skilled individual to lend him a hand. If the acumen you've shown here is any indication, you'd be ideal for the role. Two relatively clueless people, alright?
厚かましい願いとは承知しておりますが、いかがでしょう。
I know it's not my place to make such a request, but I do hope you'll consider it.
そうですね。お褒めいただいたのは光栄に思いますし、心情もお察しするにやぶさかではありませんけれども。
Well, I am truly honored by your praise, and I'm certainly not unsympathetic.
あくまで私は宮殿下のもとに派遣された身です。殿下のご情がなければ。
But I am here as His Highness's aide, and without His Highness's command.
宮殿下。
Your Highness. The Commissioner turns towards the man on the dais. I have doubts whether the subtle nuance in his gaze makes it through the screen, but...
うんええよこの通りよろしゅう頼みますかなえさん銀星号事件を解決してみんなを安心させてやってください
Sure, that works. Please do as he asks. I'm counting on you to end these massacres and put my people's minds at ease. The silhouette bows his head, and thus the decision is made. She smiles, and we're just like, oh no, no, no.
どういうつもりですか
Why did you do that?
面倒を押し付ける格好になったのは認める。
I know it looks like I'm passing you the burden. While waiting outside for the captain to gather things and join us, the commissioner and I engage. Oh, I'm yawning. In whispered discussion.
だが、そうした理由がわからないわけではあるまい。
You understand why this was necessary, don't you?
それはさすがに。身辺へ置いておきたくないというのは理解できます。
Of course, you don't want her close to His Highness.
ああ、連盟軍将校で大和人。信用するには不可解な部分が多すぎる。
Yep, a Yamatoan GHQ officer. She prevents too many mysteries to be trusted, so they pair her up with you, and that way they have an excuse to send you out on missions along with her, or her along on missions along with you. Which means whenever you're on a mission, she's out of their hair.
しかも大鳥だ。
And she's an Otori.
はい。
Yep.
宣告の発言も真意は那辺にあるやら。彼女というスピーカーを通した GHQ からの通告だとも考えられる。
Her words now could mean anything. If she speaks for GHQ, that might have been a warning or a threat.
そうでしょうか。真意の所在はともかくとして、あれは彼女自身の言葉であったと自分には思えました。
However, her true intent, I feel her words were her own.
ほう。彼女との付き合いはお前の方が長い。お前がそう言うなら、そうなのかもしれない
You've
が。
known her the longest. If that's your opinion, maybe it's true.
聞いておくか。お前の目から見て、彼女は信頼を置くに値する人間か？
Tell me, do you think she can be trusted? Do I have to answer this question? Like Q&A style? Let's see. Oh, good God, why? Can she be trusted? We said yes the first time. Trusting her in our mission. Do we trust her again? I don't know about that one. Telling our boss... Trusting her in the field is one thing. Trusting her here is a bit different. I do not know if that is a good call. I'm just sitting here trying to figure out if I want to say trust. Trusting her for this is iffy. Do I just... Do I just leave her alone? Do I say yes just to get her on the team? Like, she's hella sus. I don't know if she's trustworthy. In the field, when you're both under pressure and she actually has a motivation to work with you, it seems reasonable. It's a lot less reasonable here. Like... I don't know. I'm just sitting here thinking, it's like, which do I want? I guess I could just say yes and see what happens. That seems like an okay plan. Like, I don't know if I want to say yes is the thing, right? Like, no seems safe. Yes also seems okay if we just want to start simping for her. We don't know what she said to GHQ or if we care. Like, it's very different to be like, ah yeah, she's kind of reliable in the field when she's under pressure to do the same thing as you do. But like here, it's like, where do her loyalties lie? I don't fucking know, man. She seems awful sus, but she's hinting she wants to be on your side, so do we take her words at face value and eat it? I mean, there's a decent chance she just fucks us over at some point, right? Oh, well. Our character sort of seems like one who would just throw information out there. At least when we didn't make choices, he was very generous with information. That's why I was down with trusting her the first time, but like, because it was in character. I'm not sure if our character is trusting though. Ah, hell, let's just click yes. I'm agonizing over it too much. I'm just gonna click yes. Like we're good guys.
彼女は GHQ に従っても圧政者には従わないでしょう。その点には確信が持てます。
Even if she obeys GHQ, I'm confident she wouldn't condone tyranny. I mean, yeah, I know. We're doing her route clearly at this point. I see.
そうか。何にしろ、彼女は GHQ の士官です。
I feel like I'm gonna regret clicking yes here, but I'm clicking it anyway, you know?
その危険性についてはお考えですか?
In any case, she's a GHQ officer. Have you considered the danger of involving GHQ in the search for Ginseigo? Yeah, the fact that they might be behind it is a big problem.
危険か。
Oh, that danger.
はい。
Yep. I avoid stating it explicitly, knowing my intent's understood. Ginseigo represents the pinnacle of might, and it's easy to imagine the Allies would show interest in her power. How can we be certain they haven't made contact already? As we discussed last night, there must be someone supporting her. And there's a good chance it's someone in GHQ, too.
だがその危険はすでに犯しているだろう。
But you
先
already
日
took
の
that
事件
risk,
で
didn't you?
お前は彼女と共闘している。
Yeah, it looks like we're just doing her route. Yeah, that's what it looks like. But you already took that risk, didn't you, when you cooperated with her during the last incident?
必要と判断しましたので、あの折はまず主役のつもりで銀星号の名を出してみました。
I believed it necessary at the time. Before accepting her help, I mentioned Ginseigo to test her reaction.
特別な反応はなし。ほぼ無関心に近いほどでした。しかし
No
それは
effect. She seemed
単に彼女が何も知らされていないだけかも
uninterested
し
in the
れませ
matter.
ん。
Of course, that may only mean she had not been told anything at the time.
今後、捜査活動を共にするとなれば、彼女を通して情報がすべて黒幕に筒抜け、
If
と
she
いう可能
accompanies me
性
on
さ
my
え。
search, it's possible everything we learn will be funneled straight to Ginseigo's backers. I'm probably overthinking it, but the possibilities there. I mean, we know her superiors are both super corrupt, so that's a little bit concerning.
自分はそれでも構いませんが、そのような運びとなれば、必ず何らかの反応があるはず。
I,
伸ばされ
personally,
てきた黒い腕を
wouldn't mind if
逆
that
手に取
happened.
りましょう。
It would at least provoke some kind of reaction, which could be used to my advantage.
その覚悟なら私から言うことは何もない。お前に全て任せる。
If you're worried about me, don't be. Just do what it takes to complete the mission.
所長、よろしいのですか?
Commissioner, are you certain?
とうに腹は決めているよ。私にできることはそれしかないんだ。銀星号の件に関する限り、お前は好きなように私を使え。
I've already made up my mind to see this through. This is all I can do for you. If it'll help fund Ginseigo, use me as you see fit.
いいな。
Understood?
はい。
Understood. Alright. It's been decided the captain will accompany me. Obviously, I can't return to jail with her in tow. She'll stay in the commissioner's manor, which is close to both Hachiman and the train station. I don't know if she'll find the accommodations to her liking, but at least the location is convenient. As we walk down the lamplit street, neither of us speaks a word. It's not a show of disaffection on my part, though I suppose it might be on hers. I just need some time to think. Not that there's much to think about. The prince and commissioner have made their decision. They make it possible for me to pursue Ginseigo, and I have no choice but to obey. My concern now is how to keep the captain as far from danger as possible. This shouldn't present too much of a problem. The captain is not a Musha. She has no means of defending herself against Ginseigo or the infected. However, this also means she has no reason to participate in battle. I mean, she might have an excuse to commission or request some power armor. I'll just make sure to involve her only in the investigation phase. In fact, where intelligence gathering is concerned, she may well perform better than I. Conclusion. Well, it shames me to involve a third party in this matter. From a purely physical or practical standpoint, this may not be such a poor development.
影明様
Kageaki?
はい。
Yes, I answer, looking over my shoulder. I know it's rude to talk while walking, but I can't just stop in the middle of the street. The captain's regarding me with some apprehension, and her double bass is slung over her shoulder, but its presumably prodigious weight appears to pose no burden to her.
怒ってらっしゃる
Are you angry?
いいえ、
でも困ってはいらっしゃるのかしら
But it does bother you.
そうだとしても、あなたの責任ではありません、大尉殿。あなたはご自分の職責に忠実であられるだけなのですから。
Even if that is the case, it's not your fault. You're being faithful to your duty, nothing more.
自分も己の置かれた立場、そこに発生する責任に対して忠
Practically,
実
it's
であろう
helpful
と思
she's
いま
here.
す。
She's got more charisma
大尉
than we
殿のご
do.
協力を仰ぐことに否やはありません。
I don't think we could. I don't think. I mean, shit, man. Like, getting charisma from us is like getting blood from a stone. It just doesn't happen. I, too, intend to be faithful to the responsibilities of my position, and therefore, I do not object to your assistance.
そうなんですの
Oh,
なら
well,
良い
alright
の
then.
ですけど影明様にご迷惑をおかけするのは本意ではありませんし
Well, I just want you to know it's not my intent to cause you trouble.
ようございましたね、お嬢様。ちなみに港様のご発言は意訳しますと、すげえ邪魔だけど親王の命令だからしゃあねえのな、け
Good for
とい
you,
うことか
mistress.
と思われます。
By the way, I believe the good sir's bush beating just now translates as, "You're a huge pain in the ass, but I can't say no to the prince." Damn.
それは本当ですか影明様
Is that true?
はい。
Yes.
お嬢様、道端で寝ていては通行の方々の迷惑になりますよ。そこのゴミ捨て場でお休みください。幸い明日は回収日の様子。
Mistress, sleeping on the roadside is inconsiderate to pedestrians. Please rest in that garbage bin over there. I believe tomorrow is collection day. Yeah, rest in the garbage bin with the rest of the trash.
あなた実は私のこと嫌い
Have it in for me, don't
で
you?
すが、それはあくまで自分の心情的問題に過ぎません。大尉殿の能力については何の不安もなく、むしろ期待するところが大です。
However, those are merely my
自
personal
分こそ
feelings.
邪魔にならぬかと不
Please do
安
not
を覚
concern
えます。
yourself with them. I have no doubt as to your abilities. In fact, I'm confident you'll be extremely helpful. In all likelihood, I will have to work to not get in your way.
まあ影明様ったらご謙遜を今の聞いてばや私影明様に期待をかけられていてよ
You're so modest. Did you hear that, Sayo? He's counting on me.
その立ち直りの速さ、さすがでございます。
An amazing
お
recovery,
嬢様は
mistress.
そうでなくては。
That's more like it.
ところでお嬢様、あらゆる生物の中で最も強靭なのは単細胞生物なのですが、ご存知でしょうか？
By the way, are you aware that the most resilient life forms on Earth are those with only a single cell?
影明様少々お待ちくださいましね私そこの角のお肉屋さんで野暮用を済ませてまいりますので
Did you wait a minute, dear? I have some business at that butcher's shop on the corner.
品目不明の肉は取り扱わないと思いますが、
I doubt they'll accept meat of unknown origin. Their relationship continues to baffle
大
me.
尉殿、
Captain?
はい
Yes? I return my gaze to the road, and behind me the sound of a rifle being cocked is replaced by the captain's soft voice. I pause to inhale before continuing.
あの村のことはご存知ですか？
Have you heard about the village? Her silence is worth 1,000 words. As expected, there's no way she couldn't have heard the tragic news.
面目次第もございません。
I have no excuses.
なぜ謝られますの
Why are you
大尉
apologizing?
殿のご尽力を無に着せしめてしまいました。目前の戦にとらわれ、銀星号の襲来を見逃したばかりに、
I was too preoccupied
己
with the
の
enemies
無能
before
を
me
悔いるばかりです。
to detect Ginseigo's coming. As a result, I rendered your valiant efforts meaningless. My incompetence is entirely to blame.
婿の死を強いられた人々にすれば、この悔いさえ憎いものと映るでしょうが。
Of course, to those who were slain so unjustly, any such expression of regret must seem repulsive indeed. Ginseigo's victims do not care how deeply we regret their deaths. All we can do is bring their murderer to justice, and even that will not give them peace. Yes, we can imagine that it does, but it's only a delusion by which the living find solace. If we're not to flee into fantasy, we must bear the weight of their deaths forever.
村の話は横浜へ戻ってすぐに聞きました。
I heard soon after returning to base.
一人も、ただの一人も生き残らなかったそうですね。
Is it true? There were no survivors?
はい。
Yes.
私、ずっと海外におりまして、ヤマトに戻ってからまだ日が浅いんですの。銀星号事件の生々しい話に触れたのは今回が初めてなのですが。
I like how he lies about that. He's like, I was too busy fighting people. And then you read the actual scene and he's like off murdering. He's off stabbing some kids to death. Runs into Ginseigo when he's done and he's like, oh, well, that's awkward. I killed the people in the mountains. Ginseigo kills all the people in the village while I'm off doing that? Yeah, interesting. I lived overseas much of my life. I returned to Yamato only recently, so this is the first contact I've had with Ginseigo, or first direct contact I've had with Ginseigo massacres and all their ghastliness.
どうやら許せそうにありません。
But simply, I can't abide such atrocities.
だから宣告のお話もあっさり受けてしまったのでしょうね。上司の意向を思えば本当は八幡宮に張り付いていないといけないのでしょうけれど。
Maybe that's why I agreed to join you so readily. If I'd asked my superiors, I'm sure they'd have told me to stay at the shrine.
お気持ちはわかります。いえ、わかるつもりです。
I empathize with your sentiments, or at least I understand
で
them.
も影明様にとっては少しご事情が違うのでしょう。
But it's not the same for you, is it?
まだお伺いしておりませんでしたね。影明様はどうして銀星号を追うのですか？
I never asked, did I? Why are you hunting Ginseigo? Were she to bark or query at me in an accusatory tone, I would surely deflect the question and speak no further. But the captain's voice is soft and gentle, even motherly, and so I'm given pause. My rage and grief at the ever-mounting body count. My sense of duty as one who wears the sunburst. These are motives, yes, but not the original. In the beginning, I just wanted to stop her.
この先の十字路を越えればすぐに着きます。
We're almost at the commissioner's residence.
後ほど。落ち着いてからご説明し。
はい。
Once you're settled in, I'll explain. Alright. The stall.
あら？
Oh?
何か。
Ada? Is something wrong? The captain seems surprised by something in the darkness up
あ
ahead.
の玄関の脇にカラマツの生えているお屋敷が影明様の？
That mansion with the larches by the entrance yours?
はい。
Yeah. Or rather, the commissioner's. Still, the captain's eyesight is remarkable, especially given her perpetual squint. At this distance, I can only make out the building's silhouette.
門の前にどなたかいらっしゃいましたよ。
There's someone by the gate, is
あれは
that?
あら？
大尉。
Captain.
私の知り合いです。いえ、そういえば、そうそう、影明様もご面識があるはず。そのように言っていましたもの。
It's an acquaintance of mine. Come to think of it, I believe you know her as well. She said something to that effect. Curious, I pick up speed. Soon my eyes too make out the person in question, a smallish figure standing idly by the gate. Kageaki just silently wishing that he had his stupid armor on so he could ask Muramasa to magnify or something. Just as I realize who she is, she turns to meet me and our eyes meet.
港さん！
Officer Minato.
あなたは。
There.
昨日あれから考えたんですけど、私やっぱり。
I've been thinking about what you said yesterday and I still...
ごきげんよう。一条綾音さんでよろしかったかしら？
Wait, is that the first time we've seen Otori wearing that outfit and having that possessing that sprite? It's a nice outfit. Wait, and like the sprite, I don't think we've seen full view of it, right? We've seen a side view. I think this is the first time we've seen the front. Anyway, good evening, Miss Ichijo. Ayane, was it?
逆だってなんであんたまでいる？
Wait, what are you doing here?
魔女の分際で家にまで押しかけて天津さえ制裁に向かってなんて口の利きよう。
How dare a mistress come uncalled to the master's house and then speak so to his wife?
あなた、これは一体どういうことですの？
Darling, what's the meaning of this?
いえ、そもそもがどういうことですか？
I don't know what you're talking about.
もう女制裁
Mistress? What?
これは一大事。修羅場になってしまいましたよ、港様。若さゆえの過ちのツケが回ってきたのです。
Terrible, sir. Your affair has been exposed this time. The time has come for you to pay for your youthful indiscretions. I don't recall being indiscreet.
港さん、このでかい女は何なんですか？本当なんですか？つまってこのでかい女が
Sir, what's with this huge chick? Is she really your wife? But she's so huge. She's huge. That's all she can think about. Snap.
ああ、お嬢様の脳神経系が致命的断裂を。
Sound of nerves overloaded.
Don't fuck with me! Fucking you, baby pig! Come on, don't tell a bitch!
Don't fuck with me. Go fuck a pig, you little bitch. What was that? What was that English? Oh goodness.
あ？だ三等兵
You want to go shit bird? Oh, that English. Yup, completely lost. Completely lost. You're just like, what the fuck am I looking at?
急を告げる港家。憎悪と憎悪が嵐を呼び、血の共演を招くのはもはや時間の問題。ああ、あの平和な日々はもう帰ってこないのでありましょうか。
Storm clouds gather at the Minato home. It's only a matter of time before jealous hate spirals into a bloodbath of epic proportions. Oh, will these peaceful days never return?
なお、実況は鎌倉所長邸宅前から長倉さよがお送りいたします。
This is Nagakura Sayo reporting live from the police commissioner's residence.
止めてください。
Stop them, please. Why is this happening?
妻ではありません。
She's not my wife.
信じてました。
I trust
照
you.
れなくてもよろしいのに。
No need to be shy, darling.
大尉、
Captain.
その冷たい瞳も素敵。
That stern glare, it's so dashing.
港様、脳髄を針金虫に食い荒らされた遺体系の女を処分する最善の方法は、心中を持ちかけて先に死なせることでございますよ。
Did you know, sir? The best way to dispose of a clingy woman whose brain has been ravaged by worms is to propose a double suicide and have her go first. Very good. Oh yeah.
その忠告はこの状況で一体どういう意味を持つのかしら？
What's
バイ
that
ヤ
supposed to mean, Saya?
それで、綾音さんはどうしてここへ？この家の所在をお教えしたことはないと思うのですが。
So what brings you here, Miss Ayane? I don't recall giving you this address.
すいません。聞いたんです。
Sorry, I got it at the police station.
誰にでしょう？
From whom?
鎌倉署の窓口で港って人の家を教えてくれって頼んだら、
When I
多分
asked at the
ここだっ
front
て
desk
言わ
for a
れて。
guy named Minato, they said I could probably find you here. She asked the cops for Kageaki, and the guy's like, yeah, he's probably at the police commissioner. Like, imagine being a prisoner. Imagine being in jail. Someone goes to ask, like, imagine being a prisoner in jail. Someone goes to jail to ask for you, and the cops are just like, he's probably hanging out with the police commissioner. Like, what? You're on like death row, but they assume you're at the commissioner's house instead of in the jail.
個人情報ただ漏れでございますね。
That place has more leaks than a septuagenarian's bladder? Yeah, probably. Though most people use octogenarian. 7's fine too. I have no retort. Ever since Rokuhara stripped the police force of any meaningful authority, the regulations have been nothing but a waste of ink and paper. How many officers even read the first page, I wonder?
了解しました。その点は結構です。
Understood.
ご
We'll
用
leave it
の
at
向
that.
きを受けたまわりましょう。
So what brings you here?
昨日の話です。
What we talked about
そ
yesterday.
れはすでにお断りいたしました。
I believe I already declined your offer.
でも
I still...
私は
自分の返答は変わりません。お引き取りください。
My answer will not change. Please go home.
港さん、
もう辺りも暗くなりました。お若い婦女子の方が一人で出歩いて良い時間帯ではありません。
Past dark. A young woman should
よ
not
ろ
be
し
out
けれ
alone.
ば
I'd be happy to
適当
escort
な
you
とこ
home.
ろまでお送りしましょう。
I'm not
帰れません。
going.
私の考えも変わらないんです。私を使ってください。警察で、あなたの下で。
Position hasn't changed either. Please use me. Let me help you. These are the very words she spoke yesterday in front of the station.
この間は
Thank you.
ありがとうございました。
We didn't see this conversation, right? It just faded out.
助けていただいて。
You know, for helping me.
そのようなことはお気になさらず、迷子の世話は警察の職務です。
No need to thank me. Helping lost citizens is any police officer's duty.
いえ、そっちじゃなくて。いえ、それもそうなんですけど。
She's so fun. Not that. Well, yeah, that too. Actually,
実はその
Ichijo's great.
はい。
Yes.
今日は私を
I'm here to ask
あ
a
なた
favor.
の下で使ってください。何でもやりますから。
I'll do anything.
お願いします。
Please.
警察局への就職を希望されるのであれば、学校を卒業後に採用試験を受けてください。
If you wish to join the
自
police
分
force,
には他にお答えのしようがありません。
please take the recruitment exam after you've graduated. I know no other way to answer you.
それじゃ遅いんです。
By then it'll be too late.
そのようなことは決して。
Not at all. You're still
あなた
young.
はお若い。警察官になるのに数年をかけても十分に活躍ができるでしょう。それに誰もがそうした手順を経て正式な警官たるのです。
Even if it takes a few years
あ
to
なたを
become
除く
officer,
ことはできません。
you'll have plenty of time to make an impact. Everyone's got to go through the same process before joining the force. We can't make an exception just for you.
分かってます。警官でなくていいんです。ただの下働きでいい。給料もいりません。何か
I know that.
手伝わせてください。
I don't want to be an
あなた
officer.
の仕事を私に。
Just your assistant. I don't want to have pay. Just let me help you. She wants no pay and just help us. Won't she be starving?
あらまあ。
Oh my.
おやまあ。
Well, the Otori pair's utterances of surprise barely register. Something is churning deep in my gut.
どうしてそこま
Why
で。
are you so?
私は
She affixes me with pleading eyes, and I know what emotion is represented within them, and that knowledge is a blade in my heart. Few things are more painful than to be so gravely misunderstood.
初めてだったんです。
You're the first.
大変聞き捨てなりませんが、それはひとまずおきまして影明様、そういうことでしたらちゃんと責任は取って差し上げませんと。
What does this mean? What I think it means? If so, you better take responsibility.
六原の野郎どもに陰で文句を並べるだけのやつならどこにだっている。でも立ち向かう人はどこにもいない。私だってそうです。せこい嫌がらせをするのがせいぜいだった。
Everyone talks shit about Rokuhara, but there's no one who will actually stand up to them. I was the same. The most I could do was cause a little trouble here and there.
あなたが初めてなんです。口だけじゃない。奴らと戦える人は初めて見たんです。
You're the only person I've met who did more than talk. You fought them. You're the first. It's just like, it was pure coincidence. Why does everyone believe in me?
スルーされてます。
Like I don't exist. Her joke falls completely flat and she's ignored by everyone in the room.
空気読みましょうよ、お嬢様。
Let's not bother the mistress.
六原の奴らが間違ってるのは分かってた。分かってるのに何もできない自分が嫌だった。私は間違っていることが許せない。許したくない。見て見ぬふりなんか嫌だ。
I knew they were evil, but I couldn't stop them. I hated myself for that. I can't forgive those who do evil. I don't want to close my eyes and pretend I don't see.
父様に恥じない娘でいるために何かしたかったんです。何かそれをようやく見つけたんです。
been looking for a way to fight back, a way to make my father proud. Now I found it.
お願いします、港さ
I want to
ん。あな
support
た
you.
の力になりたいんです。
Ah, these eyes. These eyes.
あなたは誤解している。何もかも誤解している。
You're mistaken. Horribly mistaken.
港さん、
あなたは俺のことを嫌っていたはずだ。侮蔑していたはずだ。くだらないやつだと。何の値打ちもない人間と。
You hated me
そう
before.
見ていたはずだ。
You showered me with contempt, treated me as a worthless, shameful thing.
それは知らなかったんです。すみません。私はバカだったから。
I
何
really
も
didn't
分
know
かって
anything.
なかっ
I'm
た。
sorry, I was so stupid.
自分が大したことをしてるつもりで、
I didn't
本
understand.
当はあなたが。
I thought I was fighting the good fight when really it was you.
違う。かつてのあなたの方が港影明を知っている。正確に理解している。自分は一切の敬意を払うに値しない。
You
抱き
understood
す
me
べき人
far,
間です。
far better than.
クズとしか呼びようもない。
I'm a foul, despicable creature, no more deserving of respect than the dirt beneath your feet.
なんでですか？あなたは戦っていた。きっとこれまでもずっと。私みたいなガキからバカにされても言い訳もしないで。
Are you like that? You fought them, but you're still fighting them. Even when a dumb kid like me gives you shit, you never say a word in your defense.
あなたは尊敬できる人だって。私はそう思います。
You're a man I can respect. I know that now. Maybe if she only respects power. He's cringing internally and externally. How I want to unleash the truth, to use it as a coward's weapon to bludgeon this girl into submission. How soothing it would be to let my emotions get the better of me now. Of course, I could never do such a thing, not with my sponsor's reputation at stake, to say nothing of my mission. Still, I can't contain everything.
俺は人殺しだ。そんなものを尊敬してどうする？
I've killed men. How can you respect me for that?
それでもあなたは多くの人を救ったじゃないですか。
You saved all those
あの
people.
村だって。
Everyone in that village.
救っていない。あの村は銀星号に滅ぼされた。
I saved no one. The village was destroyed by Ginseigo. She gasps. The news isn't public yet, and her reaction is exactly what one would expect.
俺が大官らと争っている間に銀星号が村を襲っていた。そして皆殺しになった。誰も彼も死んだ。
While I was fighting the prefect and his men, Ginseigo attacked the village. Everyone died. Everyone!
俺が何を救った？
Who have I saved?
何も救っていない。俺はただ殺しただけだ。
I've saved no one. I've only killed.
分かったら帰れ。俺に近づくな。俺はお前が無双しているような人間じゃない。
Him killing the two Mishi girls is insignificant. Yeah, he leaves out that part all the time, right? He leaves out the part where he was up in the mountains killing the Amishi girls. And it's just like, yeah, I was fighting the prefect and his buddy. And then Ginseigo killed everyone. I totally didn't walk 2 hours out of town to murder someone. And then come back to town to kill someone else and find out everyone was already dead. Also, yeah, if everyone died, Sorimachi Ichizo would have been dead. But he doesn't seem to expect the guy to be dead. Probably because he wasn't very thorough. He kind of just kills people and assumes no one else is there. I guess that's why he was in jail for murder, right? Easily caught. He's very sloppy with his murders. Killed, what, 18 people? Didn't even bother hiding the corpses or the trail of blood to his house. Just figured the cops wouldn't do anything, I guess. I'm a murderer, not the sort of man you imagine me to be.
行け。俺の近くにいれば、お前も。
Yo, and if you value your life, then never come here again.
でもあなたは私を助けた。
You saved me.
あなたがいなかったら私はあの時に殺されていた六原の手で。今私が生きてるのはあなたがいたから。それは確かなことです。
If you hadn't been there, the bastard would have killed me. I'm alive because of you. You can't deny that. Dude, you probably shouldn't say words like that, lady. Last person who said you're not a bad person, you saved me, he decapitated like a minute later. You're putting up some death flags for good old Demon Muramasa here.
違いますか？
Can you? No, that's not the point. You're
違い
wrong.
ません。あなたに助けられた命を私も誰かを助けるために使いたいんです。何ができるわけでもないけど何かしたい。
I'm not wrong. You saved my life and now I want to use it to save someone else's. I don't know what, but I have to do
だ
something.
からあなたの力になりたいんです。
That's why I'm here, to lend you a hand. Ugh. What's the matter with this girl?
仕方ありませんね。では影明様、彼女の身柄は私がお預かりするということで
I suppose there's no
いかがですかしら？
What if I agree to look after her? Will that do?
大尉
Captain?
あんたは関係ねえだろ。
What if you got to do with
あ
this?
ら、大ありでしてよ。私、進駐軍の軍人として影明様のお仕事に協力することになりましたから。
I'm assisting dear Kageaki on behalf of GHQ.
そうなのか？
Really?
はい。でも、お覚悟はおありかしら。私たちが相手にしなくてはならないものは、幕府よりも厄介かもしれないのですけれど。
You still can't stop laughing because Yumishi means shrimp barbarians. Really? But I have to ask, do you understand what you're getting into? The enemy we're after may be even more dangerous than Rokuhara.
たった今、お話にも上がりましたでしょ。影明様のお仕事は、銀星号事件の解決です。
You heard the tragic news of the village? Well, his job is to stop Ginseigo.
あの村のこともその一環だったとか。どうします？学生さん。悪代官に印籠を突きつけて大団円とまでお気楽にはいかない話のようでしてよ。
The events there were all part of that, it seems. Do you see, young lady? It won't be as simple as Mito Komon showing his badge to the villain.
それ確かなんだな。
You're not yanking my chain?
え、
Absolutely not.
あの銀星号をあの悪魔と戦うのが港さんの仕事。
Officer Minato's job is to fight that monster. Fight Ginseigo?
おやめになる？
Getting cold feet?
いいや、
No.
やらせてください。
I'll do it, please,
港
sir.
さんお願いします。
Let me help. You just gotta go fight
い
Ginseigo.
かがです？先ほども申しました通り、影明様の方で不都合が終わりなら、私の方で引き受けますけれど。
Will this satisfy you? As I said, I'm willing to look after her if it's too much trouble.
大尉なぜ
Captain, why? Why, Captain?
そうですね。多少の縁があったというのが一つ。あの村を離れる折にたまたま出会いまして。
Well, for one thing, it's not like she's a complete stranger. We ran into her on our way out of the village. Yes, and?
そう、その折は少しご協力をいただきましたのよ。
And she was quite helpful then.
あとは、共感ですかしら。
And I feel a certain kinship with her, I suppose.
共感？
Kinship?
ええ、私も影明様のことは尊敬しておりますもの。巨大な悪に単身で立ち向かおうとする勇気、素晴らしいです。
I too admire Kageaki. The courage he's shown in standing up to such great evil, it's magnificent. Even you? Even you speak such madness?
あんた実は結構いいやつなのか？
You actually a lot cooler than you look.
実は結構いいやつですのよ。
Happen to be pretty cool, yes?
そうか、悪かった。ただのでかい女じゃなかったんだな。
Oh, sorry. I thought you were just some annoying tall chick.
おお、お嬢様、忍耐しておられますね。ピクピクと穴なくこめかみが応酬ございますよ。
The throbbing vein on your temple is most gallant. This is nothing.
この程度、なんでもなくってよ。これからよろしく、あやねちゃん。
It'll be a pleasure working together, Miss Ayane.
名字にちゃん付けするんじゃねえ。くそ。
Call me that.
まあいいや。
Shit, whatever.
とにかく礼は言っとく。港さんの役に立てるようにしてくれるなら、シロアリにだって頭くらい下げるさ。
I guess I should thank you. I'll bow to a GHQ termite if it means getting to work with Officer Minato.
あら光栄。そうね、影明様のお仕事の邪魔にならないように頑張ってくださいましね。
An honor. Do try not to be too much trouble. So she just like randomly shacks up with someone. She's like, oh yeah, I want to work with this guy. I'll just travel halfway across the city and decide to work for him for life. Like, alright, people just do that?
あんたこそな、宿六進駐軍。足引っ張るようだったら、箱詰めにして横浜へ送り返してやる。
That's my line, you freeloading invader. Get in our way and I'm sending you back to Yokohama in a box.
そう。仲良くしましょうね、影明様のために。
Yes, let's try to get along, shall we? For Kageaki.
ああ、仲良くしてやるよ。港さんのためにな。
Sure, I'll put up with you. For Officer Minato.
美しい光景でございますね。あたかも国家間の和平会談を見ているかのようでございま
Beautiful
す。
scene. It's like watching the peace talks live. Kageaki silently dying inside. Two people making thinly veiled threats. Yeah, seems about right. What are these women saying? For me? For me? What do they think I am? I'm nothing but a murderer. Why is a man like me lavish with affection and respect? Because you're the protagonist. And that's how things work. I understand why he's confused. He wasn't the protagonist for the start of the story, so people weren't fawning over him. But this is just how anime protagonist life is. Everyone simps for you if they're not directly opposed to you. And even then they might still. This is wrong. This must not be.
やめろ。
Stop it.
影明様？
Darling.
港さん。
There.
夜だ。
おや、港様、顔色がよろしくありませんよ。お
Oh.
疲れなのでは。
You look awfully pale, sir. Perhaps you should rest.
来るな。
Hey, back.
影明様？なんだか本当にご様子が。
Kageaki, dear, you really do look.
触るな。
Don't touch me.
港さん。
Sir?
どうしたんですか？大丈夫ですか？
What's wrong?
し
Are
っか
you
りし
okay?
てください。
Say something. Action.
いいね。
Mister.
お武家様。
Noble samurai.
あなたたちは。
あのね。
Listen up, mister.
あって、お武家様のことが
I have something to tell you.
大好きです。
We love
好
you.
き。
Love you.
だって、こんなに綺麗に殺してくださったんですもの。
I mean, look how well you killed him.
そうだよな。俺も尊敬してるぜ。
That's right, I admire you too.
こんなに綺麗に殺してくれたもんな。
Look how clean this cut is.
すげえよ、港さん。
You're awesome, man. Yeah, he didn't kill the girl very well. No, he missed. Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. The words don't come. I want to desperately say them, but I can't. I know I can never be forgiven.
お武家様。
Noble
村
samurai.
正最高。正義の味方。
Go, Muramasa. Fight for justice. I can't take it anymore. Don't sing my praises. I don't want them. Give me hate instead. Curse my name. Rend my soul with howls of condemnation.
苦しんでいるな、影明。
Are you suffering, Kageaki?
それは生まれの苦しみだ。
Know that your pain is the pain of birth.
俺も苦しい。お前の苦悶は
I feel it
俺
too.
の心を傷つけてやまぬ。
Your every cry strikes deep into my heart.
これは生みの苦しみ。
This is the pain of giving
共
birth.
に耐えよう。かわいい影焼き。
Let's endure it together, my
これ
darling
は誕生
Kageaki.
の苦しみなのだ。
Endure it with pride.
母と子が共に味わう苦痛。生命が生命を作るための避けて通れぬイニシエーションだ。
Is the rite of passage that mother and child must complete together in order to bring new life into this world.
俺は全身全霊をもってお前を産み落とそう。お前を産んでお前の母となろう。だから
I will devote myself to this most sacred role, giving birth to you and become your mother, and
生
so...
まれ落ちたなら心置きなく俺を愛するがいい。
Once you are born, Kageaki, love me with all your heart. Yeah. And now even the antagonist wants to fuck Minato. Yep. When I come to, I'm lying on a futon. The feel of the sheets and the look of the ceiling are known to me, if not so much as to be called familiar. This is my room, the room set aside for me in the commissioner's residence.
お目覚めになりまして。
Are you awake?
注意。いや、
Lieutenant,
失礼。
sorry.
大尉殿でした。
Captain.
覚えておられますの？
You
さ
remember what happened?
はい。
Yes. I remember losing control of myself, swept away by the conversation's unexpected turn. Pathetic.
見苦しいところをお目にかけました。お恥ずかしい限りです。
I apologize for my lack of self-control. It's most embarrassing.
とんでもない。私どもの方こそ影明様のお悩みも知らず無神経なことばかり言ってしまいました。
Not at all. I should have been more considerate of your feelings and taken greater care with my remarks.
あの村の一件をよほど気にしておいでですのね。
What happened to that
無
village
理
must
はあり
truly
ま
weigh
せん
on
け
you.
れど。
I sympathize. I've recovered sufficient composure to let the misunderstanding pass. Even this short rest, about 2 hours by my internal clock, has helped.
自分が倒れたせいで、この家に入るのにも不自由されたのでは。
Was there any trouble at the gate while I was unconscious?
いえ、声をかけましたら使用人の方がすぐに出てきてくださいまして、あれこれ説明するまでもなくさしていただけました。
No.
良い人をお雇いですのね。
A servant came right away when we called. We didn't even have to explain. You have good help.
牧村さんですか。後で礼を言っておきましょう。無論、大尉殿にも。
Miss Makimura,
お
I'll
手を
have to
煩
thank
わ
her
せまし
later.
た。
You as well, of
申し
course.
訳あ
I
りません。
apologize for causing you such trouble.
もうご迷惑をかけてしまったのはこちらですのに、本当にお堅い方。
It's all my fault.
お
Don't
体
be
に
so
は
stubborn.
触りありませんの？
Does anything hurt?
はい。何ほどのことも。
No, I'm fine. He's got regen. He's good. I sit up. There's a slight ache in my shoulder, probably bruised when I fell. It's no impediment to movement.
綾音さんはどうされました？帰られましたか？
What about Miss Ayane? Did she go home? Yeah, he's trying the good old feint on someone to make them leave trick. That's what he was trying, right? I thought women only did that in movies.
いいえ、今の方でお待ちです。
No,
自
she's
分の
waiting
来訪
lounge.
が影明様に負担をかけたのではないかと
She
気に
seemed
して
quite
おいで
worried
でし
that
た
her
ね。
visit may have caused you undue stress.
そうですか。では誤解を解く必要があります。
I see. I'll have to clear up the misunderstanding. No new aches or pains reveal themselves when I stand. This is a relief. I have to be ready to do battle at any moment.
参りましょう。
Go.
影明様、
Kageaki.
はい。
やはり
Was I rough?
余計なことを申し上げましたかしら。
I shake my head and her meaning is obvious.
いいえ。冷静になって考え直せば、あそこまで思い込んだ彼女に本意を促すのは難
It would
しい
have
で
been
しょう。
impossible to change her mind.
追い払ったところで諦めるとは思えません。捜査中を密かに尾行でもされては大事です。こ
Simply
ちら
sending
の知
her
らな
away
い
would
と
have
ころ
had
で
no
危難
effect.
に遭いかねませんから。
The last thing we want is to have her follow us in secret. She might step into danger without our knowing.
ええ、
それを思えば、要望を認めて連れて行くのは事前の策と言えます。
In which case, the next
彼
best.
女は年相応以上の能力を備えているようですから、
Yeah, but the next best option
お
is to
そ
let
ら
her
く
come
任務
along.
の阻害はしません。
Her abilities are considerable given her age, so I doubt she'll be a hindrance to the mission. Unless she has to go anywhere. If she has to follow directions, you fucked. You're just completely screwed.
むしろその意味では有益でしょう。任務の危険性を思えば、学生を連れ歩くなど論外ですが、
Rather, she's
こ
likely
の
to
際
prove
は仕
useful.
方ありません。
It pains me to bring a student on an
所長にも
assignment
説明して、
as dangerous
了
as
解を
this.
得ておくことにします。
But there seems to be no other choice. I'll contact the commissioner and get his permission. In other words, Captain, she's the same as you. I keep this part to myself.
私もそれがいいと思います。扱いは進駐軍挑発の現地協力員ということでよろしいかしら。
I agree it's the best option. As for the paperwork, shall we treat her as a local collaborating with GHQ?
あなたに責任を押し付ける気はありません。警察属員。つまり、自分と同じ立場ということにしておきます。
I would not ask you to assume responsibility for her. She'll be a police deputy like myself.
よろしいの？一条さんを受け入れようと言い出したのは私なのですから。
Sure, I'm the one who suggested bringing her along.
彼女が訪ねてきたのは自分です。自分が身柄を引き受けるのが筋というものでしょう。
But I'm the one she came to. It's only proper that I take responsibility.
そうですね。あの学生さんもきっとそうなさった方が喜ぶでしょうし。
I suppose you're right. I'm sure she would prefer that anyway.
港さん
Oh boy.
おや、気がつかれました
Oh
か。
goodness.
大変お騒がせいたしました。見苦しき振る舞いの数々、
I seem to have caused you some
お詫びいた
distress.
します。
Allow me to apologize for my utter lack of decorum. It's the fainting strat, it didn't work. He tried. I take a seat and lower my head. If possible, I'd like to maintain this position throughout the entire conversation. It saves me the pain of making eye contact after my shameful behavior.
いえ、そんな。
Please don't.
こちらこそ気配りが足らず、お心を騒がせてしまった様子。この作用としたことが深くの至り、お詫びの言葉もございませぬ。
I hope there will be
本
some way
日
to
の
repay you
埋
in
め
the
合わ
future.
せはいずれ必ず。
そのようなお気遣いはどうか無用に。
Oh, please
Toku.
don't trouble yourselves. Especially
Ayane-san.
you, Miss Ayane. Yeah, we'll just continue our lie. We'll go along with what they assume.
はい。
先ほどは取り乱した挙句、聞くに耐えぬ雑言を並べ立てたように思います。誠に比例の限り、
I lost my
面
control
目
of
次第も
myself.
ございません。
Thank you for the drink, my friend. I believe I said many harsh and abusive things in the process. Such rudeness is inexcusable.
そんな。港さんは何も悪くないです。私が無神経なことばっか言ったから。
Don't say that. It wasn't your fault. I should have been more
本
sensitive.
当にすみません。
I'm sorry.
お心遣い、ありがとうございます。
Your concern is appreciated. Now, while this is
ついては、
certainly no kind of
お詫びに
apology,
変えてというわけではないのですが、
はい。
yes,
先刻のご要望の件、考慮をさせていただきたく思います。
I've decided to accept
待
your
遇は
request,
世辞にも良いものとは言いかねるでしょうが、
though I can't promise you'll be entirely happy with the arrangement.
本当ですか？
ただその前に、改めて申し上げておきます。自分に関わることは危険です。
I would like to impress upon you that involving yourself with me is dangerous.
本当に危険なのです。生命に関わります。
Lethally dangerous. You may well lose your life.
これは大尉殿にも申し上げられることで
This
す。
applies to you as well, Captain.
自分としては、お二方とも、このまま一切を聞かずに変えられることをお勧めします。
Personally, I would like both of you to leave this minute.
それが最善なのです。
There's no question in my mind. That would be the wise choice.
それでもあえて残られるなら、失礼ながら、実に愚かしい選択をすることになります。
If you would choose to stay,
無
nonetheless,
用の危険を望んで犯すのですから、
then pardon me for saying so,
そ
but you
う
would
言わ
make
ざるを得ません。
a truly foolish decision. There is no reason for either of you to risk your life like this.
あえて申し上げます。 自分はどなたのご協力も強いて必要とはしておりません。
I have no pressing need of assistance from anyone.
以上を踏まえた上でご再考ください。
Now
この
please
ままお帰
reconsider.
りいただくわけには参りませんか。
Will you not walk away from this business altogether?
私はお答えするまでもありませんね。
No, I really need to answer them?
大殿、
Captain.
影明様への協力は GHQ 士官として拝命したものです。影明様に厭われたからといって翻せるものではありませ
As
ん
a
し、
GHQ officer, my
それ
orders
に
are to help. I can't abort my mission just because you don't want me along.
私にも自尊心がありますもの。必要ないと言われたまま引き下がっては大鳥の名折れ。これは必ず撤回させてご覧に入れますから楽しみにしておられませ。
And now there's my pride to think about. If I back down now after what you've said, I'm not needed. It would shame the Otori name. I intend to make you reconsider that assessment, so do look forward to it.
それでこそお嬢様。
Well said, mistress.
私も
Same here.
すみません
Sorry, sir.
港さん。迷惑をかけることになるのは分かってるんです。私がこれまでチンピラ連中相手にやってたようなことが港さんの敵に通じるわけがないって、それは分かるんです。
I know I'm gonna be a burden. I know that what I've done against punks and gangsters isn't gonna work against what you're facing.
でも戦えるようになりたいんです。
I wanna fight.
今は無理でも必ず私は逃げたくないんです。許せないものから、それが六原でも銀星号でも。
Even if I can't do anything now, I want to get stronger. I don't want to run. Not from Rokuhara, not from Ginseigo. Well, I mean, if she's a fighter, maybe we can somehow get her more pieces of power armor so she can have a complete set. Because she has, hopefully, she picked up the Elder's stick, which is, I assume, a piece of a Tsurugi, which is why he was able to just conjure the sword and gauntlet.
私を育ててくれた人に恥じるような生き方はしたくない。戦い方を知りたい。
I
だ
want
か
to
ら
learn to fight like you do.
お願いします。
So as to not
私を
betray the
港
people
さ
who
んの
raised
そば
me.
に置いてください。
That's why I'm asking you. Let me stay, please.
気のせいですかしら。なんか私のセリフと比べて随分と好感度上昇率が高そうな。
Is it my imagination, or is that reply far more likely to win points than mine?
あたかも愛の告白のごとし。これは大きく遅れを取ってしまいましたよ、お嬢様。
It was practically a confession of love. You'll have to work hard to make up for this loss, mistress. Where's the plus 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 for Ichijo?
ちゃちゃ入れてんじゃねえ。告白って私はただ。
What do you mean love? I've just... The weak heart may be saddled readily, but the stout heart is impossible to tame. There's one thing I can do.
影明様、何かおっしゃられました？
いえ、お二人のご意思は理解しました。
Your positions are
もはや
understood. I
自
have
分
nothing
から
more to
言う
say.
べきことは何もありません。
じゃあ
銀星号事件の解決のためにご協力をお願いします。
Please lend me your assistance in ending the Ginseigo
大
massacres.
鳥かなえ GHQ 大尉殿、綾音
Captain
一
Motori
条さん、
Kane. Yes, Ayane Ichijo.
お任せくださいまし。
You can count on me.
ありがとうございます。
礼などはご無用に。自分が恥ずかしくなります。
Do not thank me, it only brings me shame. I drag you into danger and you show me gratitude? How am I supposed to feel?
ではお話ししましょう。
Yeah,
我
then.
々が追うべき相手、
I should tell you about the object of our search.
銀星号のことを。
Ginseigo. Are we getting a story? Or is it gonna fade out and tell us later? The tea that Miss Makimura provides is comfortingly bitter as always, and I take a sip to wet my tongue, steeling my nerves for the topic ahead.
大尉は先ほどお尋ねになりました。自分がなぜ銀星号を追うのか。
You asked me
その
earlier
理由
why I hunt Ginseigo.
ええ、
Yes,
妹なのです。
she's my sister. Ooh, younger sister with that.
はい。
Pardon? What?
2年前のことです。あれは我が家に伝わっていた剣の一つを持ち出し、 走行に及び、
2 years ago, my sister took possession of an ancient Tsurugi kept by my house, joined with
そ
it.
して狂った。人間から怪物に、人の形をした最悪、
And she was
殺
promptly
戮す
driven
る天将、
insane. At that moment, she ceased to be the person she was. She became a monster, death and destruction in human form. She became Ginseigo.
以来、自分は家に存在したもう一両の剣と共に、あれを追い続けています。幾度か捕捉に成功することはありました。
And
しかし
joined with the
未だ
other Tsurugi in my
制
family's
圧に
keeping.
は至っておりません。
And I've been chasing Ginseigo ever since. I've engaged her a number of times these past 2 years, but to no avail. I pause here. No one says a word, each of the women wearing a similar expression. Like she wants to say something but doesn't know how. My cowardly plan appears to have worked. By presenting minimal information as though it were the whole truth, I've managed to avoid a certain unnecessary detail. Well, unnecessary? Hardly. The detail I've left unspoken is the most important of all. Why my sister went insane. I'm in no position to divulge that secret, however, for the curse that destroyed her binds me as well. Should they learn of it, their respect would turn to hatred in the blink of an eye. If that were all, it would be acceptable, but even preferable, but there is a good chance they would also seek to bring me to justice. It's too soon for that. Until Ginseigo is gone from this world, I must be able to act freely. The sheer arrogance of thinking I can decide the time of my punishment makes me want to vomit, but such is my burden. I move on to the next topic, taking advantage of their considerate silence. What a craven I am.
銀星号がなぜ核も恐るべき存在なのか。ただ一機の武者のなすこととは到底思えぬまでに殺戮を繰り広げられるのか。それには理由がありま
Ah, more info. There are 2 reasons why Ginseigo is such a fearsome adversary and why it's able to sow death on a scale beyond what a single musha should be capable of.
す。まず一つは単純な戦闘能力。剣もそれを操るしても自分の知る限りでは最上と言ってよいでしょ
First,
う。
his simple martial prowess. In my opinion, both the Tsurugi and its master are without equal.
港様も相当なものとお見受けしますが、それよりもなお。
From what we've seen, you're quite strong yourself. You say Ginseigo is superior?
はい。控えめに評して才能の桁が一つ違います。
Yes, it would be an understatement to say it's on an entirely different level.
そしてもう一つ。こちらの方が深刻です。
Second, and by far the more
あ
dire,
の
is that
剣は
the Tsurugi possesses the
精
ability to
神汚
warp
染の能
minds.
力を持ちます。
It could mind control people?
精神汚染
Warp minds?
なんとも不穏な響きでございますね。
Sounds most ominous.
実際、不穏の極みでしょう。銀星号は自己を中心として円形状の広範囲に脳活動へ影響を及ぼす得意な重力波、フェロモンを放散します。
It could not be more so. Ginseigo generates a special kind of gravity wave covering a large spherical radius centered on itself that has a profound effect on the human
こ
brain.
の汚染波を受けた人間は銀星号と精神を同調させます。狂った殺人鬼の精神とです。
Anyone caught within its radius has his or her mind synchronized with that of Ginseigo's pilot. In other words, with the mind of a deranged murderer.
もしかして銀星号事件の被害者同士で殺し合ったようにしか見えない遺体っていうのは。
Is that why there's always evidence the victims fought with each other?
その通りです。事件の被害者の多くは殺し合わされたのです。
Correct. In
心
fact,
を銀星号に奪われて。
most victims actually kill each other after their souls have been ripped from them by Ginseigo.
なんとまあ。
たちの悪い話ですこと。
How troublesome.
全くに。そしてさらに一層悪質なのは、武者が銀星号と接触してしまった場合。
Just so, and even worse, however, is what happens when another Musha encounters Ginseigo.
武者も汚染されるんですか？
We should get their minds warped
い
too.
え、さしもの汚染波も鋼鉄の壁を破って武者を影響下に置くことはできないようです。少なくとも自分の知る限り、そうした事例はありません。
Even Ginseigo's power can't affect a Tsurugi's pilot directly. As far as I know, there have been no instances of this happening.
ですが、銀星号は武者に対して卵を植え付けることができます。
Ginseigo is able to implant other musha with its eggs.
卵
Eggs, that's right. Tamago.
便宜上そう呼んでいますが、これもやはり汚染派の一種ではあるようです。自分の知る卵は高級上で
Okay.
剣と接触すると吸収され、その内部で成長。
He calls them that for convenience. They're not really eggs. They are, in fact, another sort of gravity wave. The eggs appear as glowing spheres and are absorbed into the Tsurugi upon contact. There, they mature. I'm not sure this is how gravity works. There, they mature.
不特定の期間を経て、孵化を迎えます。
After an indefinite amount of time, they hatch.
するとどうなるのでしょう
What happens then?
自分はまだ目撃したことがありません。銀星号が撒いた卵は、すべて孵化の前に破壊してきました。
I've not seen it happen since
こ
I've
の2
destroyed
年間のほとんど
all
は、
of Ginseigo's
その
eggs
作
before
業
they
に
could
費や
hatch.
されたと言ってもいい。
In fact, this has been my main undertaking these past 2 years.
あるいは銀星号の制圧以上に、卵の破壊は急務であったからです。自分の聞いた話が正しく、
This is because eliminating the
卵
eggs
に寄生された武者は、
may be
孵
an
化を
even greater
迎えたその
concern
刹那、
than defeating Ginseigo itself. If what I've been told is true, then a musha whose egg is allowed to hatch will, at that moment,
銀星号と同じものになるのなら、
become a copy of Ginseigo.
なるほど
I see.
まさに卵なのでございますね
Eggs indeed.
この話は公表されておりません。知る人間は自分と所長、後援者であられる毎度の宮殿下、そして
These details
あなた方だけで
have
す。
not been made public. Only I, the commissioner, his highness, and now you three know of it.
他言無用ですよね。
So we keep it to ourselves.
さように願います。汚染派や卵の話が市中に広まった場合、
Please do. Should word of Ginseigo's mind warping powers or its eggs ever reach the public?
パニックになりますね銀星号がただの化け物ではなく近寄られただけで発狂させられるだとかそんな代物がさらに増えるかもしれないだとか
It would incite widespread panic, and it's no wonder Ginseigo isn't just a monster, but a monster that drives you insane just by being nearby, and may even multiply without warning.
お茶の間そっとは間違いなしのネタでございます
I can imagine people fainting face first into their soup when they hear the news. Leon's expression is one of disbelief, while the GHQ pair appear more resigned than surprised. Yeah, they're like, yeah, well, that could be bad. But they're just resigned. I'm glad none of them seem overwhelmed by the enormity of what I revealed. Of course, if I thought them so weak as that, I would not have told them about it.
ことほどさように、銀星号は利害の相手。
And now you know the terrible truth of what we
い
face.
かがなさいますか。
What will you do?
そうですね
化け物なのは知ってたけど、そこまでとんでもないやつだったのかよ。
But damn. You're at a loss for words, and this is the response I hoped for. It was worth revealing such sensitive information to obtain it.
自分としてはやはり、手を引かれることをお勧めします。ただいまお話しした内容について口外しないとお約束いただければ。
Yeah, that's not gonna work,
それ
buddy.
で
One last time, I press. I recommend you remove yourselves from this matter if you promise not to divulge what you've learned,
あ
then...
らいかがってそういう意味だったんですの
Is that what you meant?
は、
Did he think that would work?
私はてっきりどうやって対処するべきなのかを問われているものとばかり
Thought you were asking how we should go about hunting it.
私もそういうことなら考えは変わらないです、港さん。
So did I. If that's what you're asking, my answer hasn't
っ
changed.
ていうか、なおさら弾けなくなりました。
Actually, I'm even more determined to help.
ですねもともとのんきに構えていたつもりはありませんけれどそこまでひどい状況と聞いては猶予の暇もありません手を引くなんて論外です
Rokuhara just sitting on their laurels when this guy has been making sure that the entire country doesn't go down in flames to like 50 Ginseigo, 500 Ginseigos just wiping out the entire city. Or the entire country, like 50 cities at a time. Wouldn't that be a disaster? Apparently not enough for that. Unfortunate, right? Maybe he should have just let this place go to shit so people would take it seriously and help him out. It'd probably be too late at that point, but still, you gotta feel, right? You're like, if only these idiots were helping him out more, he'd actually be able to take this down before it overwhelms the world. Oh well. Yeah, so now that we know what the situation is, you gotta fix this fast. No backing out.
港様、お茶のおかわりはいかがですか？
Would you like some more tea, sir?
いただきます。
Please. I drained my cup, washing down the last vestiges of my shattered hope. So be it.
綾音さん、
Miss Ayane?
はい。
Yes?
一条。
Ichijo? Yes?
これからお前は俺の部下として扱う。身分は鎌倉警察署属員。非公式の警官だ。俺と同じ立場だが、指示には全て従ってもらう。
From this point forward, I will treat you as my subordinate. You'll be an unofficial deputy of the Kamakura Police Department, the same as myself, however. You must follow my every order.
依存は
Objections?
ありません。
大尉殿。
Captain?
ハンカチを噛みながら恨みがましい視線で見ないでください。
Please don't glare at me while gnawing on your handkerchief.
だってなんだか羨ましいんですもの。
I'm so jealous.
あちらは名前呼び捨て、こちらは大尉殿。距離感の差があまりにも如実でございますな。
She gets called by her given name while you're still captain. It's easy to see who's closer to his heart.
妬ましい。影明様、私のことも呼び捨てになさってくださいませ。
Why this is unacceptable. I insist you use my name too.
できません。
I cannot. Perish the
なら
thought.
ハニーでスイートとつけていただければパーフェクト。
Call me honey, or even better, sweet honey.
おいてめえ、どさまぎで何抜かしてやがる。
Better get your head on straight before someone rips it off.
なんですの？ダーリンのパシリな方？
Darling, did your servant just say something?
ダーリン言うな、妄想狂体女。
Don't call him darling, you crazy giant.
巨体。
Giant?
ああ、お嬢様の心のセーフティーロックが音を立てて。
I hear my mistress's safety's disengaging. So what's she, like a huge mecha?
そうね。そうよね。円満なチーム関係を築き上げるためには、まず上下関係をはっきりさせないといけないのよ
That's
ね。
right. I completely forgot. The first step to a good teamwork is to establish a clear hierarchy. Does Ichijo somehow end up on top? I don't think this is enough of a comedy to make that happen.
ああ、やるか GHQ。昼寝する以外になんか芸があるってんなら見せてもらおうじゃねえか。
You wanna go, GHQ? Let's see if you're more than a waste of air.
OK。
Okay.
失礼。お二方。
Excuse me, ladies.
まだ説明が。
I'm not finished explaining.
すみません、ちょっと待ってください。このウドの大木を薪にして風呂釜にくべてきますから。
A minute, sir. I'm gonna chop some firewood for your bath tonight. There'll be plenty, don't worry.
すぐに済みますから少々お待ちくださいまし。ほんのこれくらいで片付きます。
That's right, dear. Just relax and drink your tea. I'll only need one of these to finish the
指一本？
one finger.
1ラウンドではありません。1分です。
One round, no. 1 minute.
上等だ。
Bring it. They're clearly in no mood to listen. Turning away from the growing storm of inanity. Inanity? I direct my gaze and stare at the ceiling where I spot a familiar crimson spider.
話はまとまった？
Is it decided?
聞いていたのか。
You heard?
大体のところはね。正直、面倒になったとしか思えないけど。
Most of it. If you ask me, we're better off without them.
やむを得ない選択の結果だ。と。
There's no other solution, at least. None I can think of.
危険は分かっているのね。
You know what could happen,
あ
right?
あ。彼女らとは必要以上に接触しないよう
Yes.
心がけておく。
I'll make an effort not to grow closer than necessary. Futile, of course. Sacrifices are inevitable.
なら、いいけど。
Alright.
それよ
Anyway,
りも、報
you want my
告。
report?
どうした？
Did you find
銀
something?
星号の匂いをつかんだ。
A trace of Ginseigo. Where?
鎌倉の郊外よ。少し西にある大きな施設の中。
Some huge structure west of the city. I couldn't tell what it was for, but it was awfully loud inside.
Mission?
West? I searched my memory. There's something there, something famous.
あれか。
わかるの？
You know what it is? Yeah, it has to be
あそこにあるのは。
the racetrack. One of the Tsurugi at the racetrack is infected. Does this mean he has to go racing? The sport of armor racing began in Great Britain about 30 years ago, popularized, as horse racing and motorsports had been, by gentry with too much time and apparently money on their hands, given that a single one of these costs like an entire country's wealth and industrial output to make. Historically, Tsurugi were long revered as sacred instruments of war, and it was unthinkable for us to use them for any other purpose. This changed with the advent of mass-produced Tsurugi. The idea of staging races between Musha, the fastest beings in creation, met with a resounding acclaim, and the nobles of England immediately set to drawing up a framework, all the while asking themselves why they hadn't thought of it sooner. And so began the armor races. 1 year after the first race was held in England, the sport crossed the Dover Channel into Europe, and within 3 years, the first league was founded to govern the countless teams that had sprouted from the Iberian Peninsula to the borders of Russia. Armor racing reached Yamato about 20 years ago and instantly garnered tremendous popularity. It seemed certain the sport would flourish, but war was on the horizon, and with the approach of hostilities came restriction on non-essential industries. Forced to cut back drastically during the war, the sport was rendered all but defunct. The years after the peace treaty, however, saw a rapid growth in demand for its revival. With the help of certain influential individuals, the Yamato League was re-established. This racetrack, the Kamakura Circuit, was completed just last year, and now, right before our eyes, the first Yamato Grand Prix is beginning.
このどこかに銀星号がいるんですか?
It's the racing arc. It's a racing arc. You thought it'd be another bloodbath? Turns out they're racing. Is Ginseigo somewhere in this stadium, Ichijo asks, struggling to peer over the heads of the spectators. Or hear anything, I imagine. At least it's not too far from home, right?
それはまずないだろう。
I think we can rule that out. While answering, I loosen my collar against the heat. The raw passion of the crowd is enough to push away the cool autumn breeze and usher in the summer heat once more. None of the racers currently on the track are top rankers. Those won't show up until tomorrow, and yet the crowd teems with excitement. It's easy to see how fervently the fans long for the sport's revival and how unsatisfied they've been with small regional races that were the most Yamato could manage before today. The devotion of sports fans can often seem excessive to outsiders, but I know, however, that the joy of these spectators is pure and wholesome, a far cry from madness.
人々は皆興奮はしているが正常だ。精神汚染を受けている様子はない。
This excitement's natural, not the effect of mental
銀星
corruption.
号の剣は真打ち。
Moreover, it would be
サ
difficult
ーキット上に潜むのは困難だ。
for a Shinichi like Ginseigo to conceal itself here.
どうしてです?
Why's that?
あら、一条さんはサーキットは初めて?
Was it your first time at the circuit?
まあ、あんまり興味もなかったし、こうしてみると結構面白そうだけど。
I never had much interest in it before, though it looks like it might be cool.
アーマーレースに使われるのは新式。数打ちの剣と決まっていますの。新打ちのサーキットを走るなんてまずありえませんのよ。
Armored racers always use red cruxes, what you would call kazuuchi. You'll never see a Shinichi on the track.
勝てませんから。
They can't win, you see.
なんでだよ。剣は数打ちより真打ちの方が上なんだろ?
Why? Aren't Shinichi better than kazuuchi?
戦闘能力ならそうです。でもこれは速さを争うアーマーレース。
That's true in combat, but this is armor racing where speed is everything.
新式にはレーサークルスというレース専用の規格がありますけれど、旧式にそんなものがあるとお思い?
Racers use special kazuuchi called racing cruxes built expressly for this purpose. Would any smith forge such a Shinichi?
そりゃ
I
そう
guess
か。
not. Indeed, when it comes to racing, kazuuchi are undeniably superior. Not that there's any rule per se against Shinichi participating. There are in fact occasional eccentrics who compete using Shinichi. However, there's not a single one who's ever performed well. If a Shinichi were present, it would stick out like a sore thumb, and that goes double for the shining silver Ginseigo. Of course, considering Ginseigo's capabilities, I imagine she could put on a strong showing if she ever did decide to compete.
じゃあ港さん。
That means we're looking for...
必然。卵を植えられた寄生体となる。村正の感覚によれば、 匂いが揺れ動いているらしい。
Tsurugi that's been implanted with an egg, and according to Muramasa, the scent's beginning to pulse.
これは卵の場合、孵化が遠くないことを意味する。
Means the egg is close to hatching and we don't have much time.
村正
Muramasa?
俺の剣だ。
My Tsurugi.
そういえば初めて聞きました。随分と不吉っぽい名前ですのね。
Come to think of it, it's the first time you'd mentioned its name. Not very auspicious, is
き
it?
っと鍛冶師がピカレスクマニアだったのでございましょう。
Sure, the smith was a lover of the picaresque. Wait, I don't actually know what that word means. What does picaresque mean? Appealing to an episodic style of fiction, dealing with the adventures of a rough and dishonest but appealing hero. I see. Roguish but appealing heroes. I see. Okay. So we're talking like Han Solo types. I got it. Best not to tell them that it's an original. Yeah.
その感覚は確かなんですね。銀星号の力の気配がここにあるという。
You mentioned a scent. Can we trust your Tsurugi's sense of smell, as it were?
過去の経験から見て信用に値します。このサーキット上、あるいは周辺のどこかに寄生体がいるこ
Based
とは
on
間
past
違いないでし
experience,
ょう。
I believe it merits trust. We can assume there's an infected Tsurugi somewhere in or near the stadium. It will be impossible to search such a large area thoroughly, but that's business as usual.
もう少し特定はできませんので、この辺りは気配が強いというような。
Is there any way to narrow it down? For example, areas where the presence is particularly strong?
どうもそういうものではないらしく、ごく漠然とした位置推定以上のことは不可能
I'm
なよ
afraid
うで
that's
す。
not how it works. Muramasa can only determine the general area in which it's located.
それだと見つけようがないんじゃないです
There's
か。
no way to find it.
いや、寄生体は村正が目撃すればそれと看破することが可能だ。だから今村正はコースを俯瞰できる場所にいる。
If Muramasa makes
これで
visual
参加
contact
機は
with the
全て
infected,
チェックできる。
it'll know. Muramasa has taken the position overlooking the track. It'll be able to check all the racing cruxes.
だがそれだけでは万全ではない。レースに使われない T クルスという可能性もある。そちらは肉眼で調べるしかない
Ready for racing? Ready for some serious Tsurugi racing. That may not be enough, however. It's possible that a non-participating Tsurugi, such as a training crux, was implanted with an egg. We'll have to check those ourselves.
なるほど。
Got it.
とりあえずはどうしましょう。
What do we do first?
そうですね。
For now, let's watch.
ひとまずは様子を。
While I would like to head into the pit and start checking cruxes right this minute, it would be next to impossible. The pit is obviously off limits to outsiders, and I doubt flashing my sunburst would get me so much as a bow. This Yamato Grand Prix, the first national race since the war ended, is being hosted by Rokuhara itself. Police authority will be of no use here. Indeed, I need to think of something.
ところで今は何やってるんだ？
By the way, what's going on right now?
予備予選です。あまり実績のない、言ってしまえば二流の選手たちをふるいにかけているところ。
It's a qualifier where unproven racers are put to the test to weed out those who don't deserve to compete.
今日の予備予選で上位の成績を収めた選手が明日シード選手たちと共に本予選を飛ぶのでございますよ。
Racers who score high in the qualifier will be allowed to join the pre-seeded racers for tomorrow's preliminary. Is this where she comes up with the idea to get him to participate in the race? I mean, I feel like there's a possibility that happens. Like, how else would we get to go in the pits for free and check out those guys? Either we get a press pass, she lies her way in, or he pretends to be a racer. Despite his mech not being optimized for all that much speed. And more for maneuverability, right?
成績ってのはどうやって出すのさ。なんかみんな点で勝手に飛んだり休んだりしてるようにし
That's
か
what I'm
見えな
thinking
いけ
things
ど。
are gonna be like. How do you score high? It looks like everyone's stopping and starting whenever they want, not actually racing against each
予
other.
選は周回タイムを競いますの。位置について4位ドンで一斉に走り出すのは決勝レースだけなんです。
The qualifier is the time trial. The on your marks, get set, go is reserved for the final showdown. Cool. Her tone is lackluster, but her eyes are glued to the track, and given Ichija's personality, one wouldn't expect her to stay indifferent to a contest like this for long.
しかし予備予選にしてはいい走りを見せる者もおりますね。 ことに今ヘアピンを曲がった選手などはなかなか。
Couple are putting on a good showing. The racer who just made the hairpin turn appears especially
あ
skilled.
れは横森鍛造のハウンドですね。横丹ワークスはシード登録されているはず
And
で
this
すか
guy
ら、
knows everything about the
セミ
races,
ワーク
doesn't
ス
he?
でしょうか。
That's a Yokomori Tanzo hound. Yokotan's already seeded, so perhaps it's a Semi-Works offshoot?
その割には大胆な改造を施してしまっているような。サスは別物の移植ですし、
It looks too
ど
heavily
こぞの
customized
お
for
大
that.
臣のプライベートチームかもしれませんね。
The suspension is clearly a different design. A private owner, perhaps?
あ、抜かれた。すげえな今の。右に行くと見せかけて左から一気に押し込んだのか。
Oh,
火花
fantastic.
が散ってたぞ。
Damn, what was that? The guy fainted to the right and then muscled in from the left? I saw sparks fly for a second.
おう、あれはポリスチームではございませんか。ようやく調子が出てきた様子。
That must be the police team. Looks like they found their stride.
田村のホットボルトですか。旧式機をよ
With
く使
Tamura
ってい
Hot
ます
Bolt, not bad for an old
あ
model.
れは騎手とメカニックが優秀であれば今でも第一線で戦える機体ではなくて、
You can still
重
race
量
with the
の
best,
大きさ
can
は
you?
厄介ですけれど、
As long as it has a first-rate pilot and crew, though I suppose the weight is still a problem.
強そうじゃねえか。
Better for kicking ass.
さようでございますな。加速性に疑問符はつくものの、機体がぶつかり合う乱戦に
Indeed,
強
it
い
lacks
のは事
acceleration,
実。
but it's very strong
レー
against
スが荒れれ
collisions.
ば有利になりましょう。
It gives it an advantage in the tight sections of the track. While direct attacks against other racers are of course illegal, collisions, intentional or otherwise, are not considered such. This is what has allowed the Hot Bolt with its comparatively thick armor to remain in use despite its age. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, it's fine to just collide with people accidentally, it happens. There's no denying the machine's obsolete without the speed and maneuverability to gain significantly in the straights or the corners. The best it can hope for is to stay in the top 20, and even then, only with tireless dedication on the part of the pilot and crew. If to prove my point, the hound that was pushed aside in the straight has come back to take the lead in the corner.
相変わらず嫌がらせかと思うほど曲がらない機体ですね。
Still turns like a drunken bull, I see.
あのアンダーステアは病気です。
The understeer is practically a disease. Oof. I'm sure the police team would like to trade it in for a newer model, but there's almost no room in the budget for that. Keeping the team going is hard enough. The Hound and the Hot Bolt are the only noteworthy racers in the qualifier. I direct my attention elsewhere.
村正、どうだ。
Muramasa, report.
異常なし。今日の競技に参加している剣は全部見たと思うけど、
Oh, clear. I'm pretty sure I've seen all the Tsurugi in this contest, but nothing stands out.
みんなただの剣もどきよ。
They're just the usual knockoffs.
そうか。
Right. Knockoffs. It isn't the first time Muramasa referred to Kazuuchi as such. I suppose I can see how Kazuuchi, particularly racing Cruxes, might offend the sensibility of someone whose entire life was defined by the old ways of Tsurugi smithing.
客席は確認したか。
Did you check the stand?
まだよ。
Not yet.
必
Should
要
I?
あるの？
一応念のためだ。視覚情報を転送しろ。
Send me the visual.
了解。
Sending. Oh, we can just get message the visuals. Not bad. Telepathy, real convenient. Hmm? Over there. One section of the stands is cordoned off from the rest. VIP seats? The spectators seem on average more richly attired than the rest of the crowd. Sponsors and invited guests, most likely. And a military escort for what's her face? Chachamaru? I think that's her name. There's also Musha, though a far different sort than those on the track. These are proper Tsurugi, heavy and imposing. A dragoon detail, presumably there to guard the VIPs against terrorist attacks and the crashes that are inevitable in any race. That CG was okay. I don't think it was that bad. It just panned over the CG wasn't that bad. It panned over a static image that we'd already seen before. It was fine. Maybe my standards are low, but it wasn't terrible.
村正。
Muramasa. Oh, in this picture. You mean Lemex in here? Yeah, that's fine.
白。
Oh, clear. I think it looks fine. The only weird thing about... there is a weird design that their, like, helmets have a power cable attached to them. But yeah, it looks alright. I think they look okay. I'm just gonna pay attention to Shachamaru instead of the mecha that look okay. They have like a Tesla charging port on their forehead. Yeah. Maybe that's what they got. All clear?
承知。
Understood. If the target had been present in that bunch, it would have made things a lot simpler in a manner of speaking.
どうした？
What's wrong?
あ、いえ、
Nothing.
少し日に当てられたかしら。
The sun must be getting to me.
大丈夫ですか？
Are you alright? Perhaps you should
なんでしたら
stand in
日
the
陰に。
shade. Yeah, it's a nice art. A nice art page.
いえい
Don't
え、
worry,
ご
I
心
just
配
felt
なく、ちょっとよろめいただけですから。
you're just feeling dizzy.
しかし、日射病にかかってから悔やんでも後の祭り。大事を取られた方が良いと思います。
Rest, Captain. It will be too late once you get heat stroke.
影明様ったら、そんな優しいお言葉で私を物陰に連れ込もうとなさるなんて。
Oh, you scoundrel. You're trying to lure me into the shadows, aren't you?
一体何をなさるおつもりで
Just
す
what are
の
you planning?
頭を冷やされてはどうかと思ったまでですが。
I was merely suggesting you cool your head, both literally and figuratively.
わかんねえやつだな。東島は無理すんなって言ってんだよ、港さんは。
Did you get it? He's telling you to think about your age, old woman.
あらま、いちいち引っかかることを言わずにはいられない反抗期真っ盛りのお嬢さん。でも私をめげません。これも本当の家族になるための試練ですもの。
Adolescence, that phase in life when children can't help but rebel against their betters. Don't worry. I don't take it personally. This is just another trial on the path to becoming family.
ねえ、あなた。私、あやねちゃんがあなたの連れ子だなんてことちっとも気にしませんから。
And she's just doing her best to embarrass our protagonist, poor guy. Darling, I'm alright with little Ayane living with us, even if she is your daughter from a previous marriage.
は
I see.
勝手な設定作ってんじゃねえよ。あと、名字にちゃん付けする
You're living in a dream world and stop calling me that.
暑苦しい集団でございます
Bunch,
ね。
aren't they? If you mean that in a bad way. Struggling to ignore the curious stares we're gathering, I direct my gaze to the clock tower at the center of the circuit. It looks like the qualifier will be over soon. And now what to do? As long as we're regular spectators, we don't have many options. We'll need more freedom to conduct a thorough investigation. The only people who have backstage access are Shogunate officials, sponsors, and participating team members. If possible, we'll want to blend in with one of those groups. In which case...
さよ、
Saya,
は、
mistress.
あちらをご覧なさいな。
Look over there.
貴賓席でございますか？
The VIP seats. That she recognizes someone like Chachamaru there?
その右端の方、
Oh,
堀越の姫君がいらっしゃいます。
that's the princess of Horigoe.
なんと、ちゃちゃ丸様ですか？
Why,
おや
Princess
まあ、お
Chachamaru.
懐かしい。
It brings back memories.
宣告のセレモニーで紹介されていなかったところからしてお忍びなのでしょうね。
Since she wasn't introduced at opening ceremonies, she must be going incognito.
噂にたがわぬ型破りなお方のようで。
Seems her reputation as an eccentric is well deserved. Oh, is this gonna be our way in? They go to try and talk to Chachamaru? Maybe, that might work. I mean, they did show us a panel with her. They did show us a full-page splash CG of her, right? So clearly she's somewhat relevant to this scene. Although my first thought, honestly, is I think there's the latest Hitman had a map that was a racetrack, and that's what I'm thinking of when I see this racetrack. We're basically doing the same thing, right? Trying to we want to ideally assassinate a Tsurugi without getting caught. Not like that'll actually happen, but you know, in Fantasyland we can try it. Destroy a Tsurugi without being caught. Escape the racetrack.
隣にあれはどなたかしら。
And
ご婦人がいらっしゃるけど。
who's that woman next to her? The blue-haired chick?
おそらく、憂鬱の局なる方でございましょう。ちゃちゃ丸様の寵愛並々ならぬ女官とか。
That must be
女官とは
Yutsuzu.
仮の姿。あれは非戦の出とされるちゃちゃ丸様の母なのだというものもおりますね。
Lady Chachamaru's most beloved maidservant. Rumor has it she's actually the lady's mother. There have always been doubts about the legitimacy of her birth, as you know.
母親。もしそうなら、あれはエミ氏の方。と、これは禁句でしたね。
Her mother? Why, that would make her an emishi. Oh, I forgot. We're not supposed to mention that.
まあ公然の秘密というものでございますが、折越久保殿がハーフドワーフであることは。
Well, even if no one says it out loud, everyone knows the general is a half-dwarf.
それにしても、少しばかり不都合ですね。顔を合わせないように気をつけた方がいいのかしら。
In any case, it's a little inconvenient. Should we take care not to be seen?
それはさほど気にせずとも平気でございましょう。お嬢様とかの姫君は、あちらがご幼少の右利にほんの数度お会いしたきりのはず。
You only met a few times, and she was but a child then.
ご記憶ではございますまい。
I doubt she remembers you.
そうね。ならばったり出会って気まずい空気に、なんてことにもならなくて済むかしら。
Then we needn't worry about any awkward run-ins.
あのお方とはどう接したものか、いささか迷ってしまいますからね。シシク殿なら話は簡単なのですが。
Striking up a casual conversation with her is likely an unrealistic prospect. Now, if it were Shishiku, we'd know exactly what to expect.
他の方々は出方が読めません。友好的ということはまずないでしょうけど。
It's impossible to say how the others might react, though I suppose a friendly welcome is out of the question.
差し当たってこちらからわざわざ喧嘩を売りに行く必要はございますま
All
い。
the more reason to let sleeping dogs fly, no? No?
そうね。
You're right, I'll
あまり気にしないことにしておき
try
まし
not
ょ
to
う。
worry about it. That's not our inn? Okay. Oh, she spotted us, didn't she? That was fast. She was but a child then. I recognize anyone from 500 meters away in a sea of people. I'd recognize anyone.
あれ、この信号どこかで。
Or have I heard it before?
おい、それよこせ、そのオペラグラス。
Hey you, give me those binoculars. No way! She spots them in the stands at a racetrack? She hears her voice in the stands at a racetrack. What? What on earth? Like, I don't know if you've ever been to a racetrack. I've been to racetracks in real life. You wear fucking earplugs at racetrack to protect your hearing, because it's insanely loud. Like, racetracks are super fucking loud, because those cars, they don't have mufflers, and they tune up the engines to a ridiculous degree. That would be like, you would not be able to hear things. Like, you know how if you're at a concert while a song's playing, you can't even hear your friend beside you talking and you have to shout to even like maybe get them to hear anything? Just imagine being at the other end of the concert hall and hearing someone yell in the middle of the concert. Completely ridiculous. It's not happening. And this is in a crowd at that. And they're talking calmly. No way. No way does that happen. But whatever. I'm willing to assume that she's got like elf eyes and could just see someone from like a couple hundred meters away. Because that was like across the aisle, right? Oh well. Ma'am?
はあ、大鳥姉妹の姉がいますよ。なんでやねん。
The older Otori sister. What the hell is she doing here?
ああ、シシクの機嫌を悪くしたのはあれか？
Is this why Shishiku was all pissy earlier?
ありえる話だね。
How about this? Superpower. How'd she see? Yeah, I think seeing someone in a crowd in like the stands of a packed racing circuit is more realistic than hearing them when they're talking. Because I would wager that you couldn't actually see them. I would wager that you couldn't actually hear them if they were talking in the first place, even if there was no noise there. How'd she see it? Think about this, think about in general. I mean, there's a chance. So seeing is more believable because there's a chance she has a Tsurugi that could use magnification and she's casually scanning stands because she's bored or she was using it to watch the race. That's believable. Or there's security cameras. I don't know if they actually have those. The tech level is a little unclear. They might have security cameras and she might be watching those because she's like a fucking princess. And can just say, fuck you, give me the information. Like, there's a few possibilities. I mean, there are armored dragoons right behind her. They might be her personal bodyguard or own command unit, which might have magnification. There's also the chance that she's doing, like, she's pulling, like, the same thing Muramasa is and has her mechs hiding somewhere. Right? So there's a few chances that she can see. Hearing seems unlikely unless her Tsurugi's, like, 5 feet away. What about Otori? Honestly, don't know about Otori. Didn't she spot her across? I don't know how Otori would guess. She could maybe guess by her, like... How would she guess? Okay, let's think. There are 2 people sitting. You can't identify them. How would Otori notice them? It could be... like they have personal banners or known bodyguard units. As the Tsurugi are larger and more visible. They might also have, like, personal umbrellas with, like, their family logo or something on them. Those are believable. Or, they didn't say it, but someone could have mentioned them. Oh, well. Makes sense.
隣にいるのは
Who's that next to her? Oh.
アリマお姫お姫ちょっと面白いことになりそうな感
Hey,
じ
princess. It looks like things are getting interesting. I'll now explain our course of action.
はい
You okay?
お嬢様、無理に個性を演出するとなんだかとても痛々しいですよ。
Mistress are trying much too hard to make an impression. We begin our investigation when the qualifier has ended, when most of the spectators have left the stadium. Muramasa still places Ginseigo scent inside the circuit, so we don't have to worry about the teams that were eliminated. They've all left as well.
主眼に添える調査対象は今日のレースに参加しなかったチーム。多くはパドック内の各ガレージで明日の本予選のために機体点検を行っているはずで
We'll
す。
focus on the teams that didn't participate in today's time trial. Most of them should be in their respective paddocks preparing for tomorrow's
コース
preliminary.
に出て練習機構を行うチームもあるでしょうが、
Also, I believe
そ
they
ちらは
said...
村正に任せてください。
Didn't,
我々はレース関係者を装ってガレージ内のチームに接触を試み、情報収集を行います。
I don't know what he said. Didn't they say this event was sponsored and hosted by the Rokuhara? They would expect someone who's Rokuhara affiliated to be here. And our list of people who are Rokuhara related is really fucking short, as it's all the generals, and that's it. Some racers might head out to the track for practice, but we can leave those for Muramasa to check. We'll pretend to be involved with the race administration and attempt to gather information from pilots and crew.
レース中ほど警戒は厳しくないはずですので、ことさらに不審な行動を取らねば問題は起きないでしょう。もし
Security won't be
怪
as
しまれた
tight
場合
during the
は
race.
迅速に撤収してください。
There should be no problem unless you do something to
無理押しは禁物です。
invite suspicion. If that happens, disengage immediately. Getting too greedy now will only make our job more difficult later.
質問
Question?
はい、大尉殿。
Captain?
聞き込みの方向性はどのようにあなた銀星号を知りませんかといった感じでよろしいのでしょうか
Do you know Ginseigo? Subtle enough?
ひねりなさすぎだろおい
How is that subtle?
怪しまれては元も子もありません。ひとまずは当たり障りのない会話で情報を集めるにとどめましょう。何
In
気な
order
い
to
雑
avoid
談の
tipping our
中
hand,
に意外な収穫が見つかるというのはよくある話です。
to elicit information through casual conversation, surprising truths can often be gained from seemingly innocuous statements.
ただ、それでも一応の方向を示すなら、力に飢えている人間を探してください。
The only specific direction I can give is to look for someone who desires power. You're at a racing circuit, dude. Everyone here wants to win.
それはどういう
Desires power?
銀星号によって規制隊に選ばれる人間の 言うなれば傾向です。
It appears to be the common thread linking those chosen by Ginseigo.
村正、お前は引き続きコントロールタワーから監視を頼む。これからいくつかのチームがコースに出てくるはずだ。
Muramasa, continue keeping watch from the control tower. More teams are likely to use the track.
了解。
Understood.
ねえ、ミド。
By the way, Mito?
何か
Yeah?
考えたのだけど、今回銀星号が作った7つの卵。
I've been thinking about the 7 eggs Ginseigo scattered this time. How'd she eat your sword?
それを与えられた武者のうち、3人を私たちはすでに見ている。
Of the 7, we've already encountered 3.
をね。
Don't you think they had something in
彼ら
common?
には共通項があった。
Yeah, they're all pieces of
So
our
what?
Nodachi, right?
共通項
Something in common.
彼らは力を求めていた。渇望していた。他人を屈服させて、自分の望みを叶えるために。
They all desired power. Were starved for it even. They wanted the strength to bend others to their will and realize their dreams.
鈴川亮部、長坂右京、風魔小太郎。
Okay.
皆そうじゃない？程度と性質の違いはあったかもしれないけれど。
Suzukawa Ryobu, Nagasaka Ukyo, Fuma Kotaro. Even if the nature of their obsessions was different, they were all like that, weren't they?
前回、銀星号が卵をばらまいた時には、そんなことはなかった。
It wasn't like that the other
生態は
times.
ただ無作為に選ばれたようにしか見えな
It
かっ
seemed
た
like
し、
infected were chosen
実際
randomly,
そう
which
だった
they
んでしょう。
probably were.
で
Okay.
も、今回は明ら
This
か
time
に
there's a
違
clear
う。
pattern.
おそらくそれは、今回の卵が、寄生体に私の能力を分け与えるという付加価値を持つからよ。
Probably because these eggs bestow part of my power upon the recipient.
せっかくの力、必要としているものにくれてやろう。
So she might as well give it to people who want it.
ええ。寄生体は、選ばれている。
They're being chosen deliberately.
ならば
In which case,
力を求めているものを探せばいいのよ。この競技場で、誰よりも力に飢えている人間を。
just need to find someone who thirsts for power, who wants it more than anyone else here. I mean, this looks pretty. This is a pretty cool CG. I like the background, and I don't think we've seen this one before. Or if we did, it was only briefly. It looks cool. They got just the right amount of shadow and distance to make it impossible to tell if that's CG or traditionally hand-drawn art, which is a plus for me, because most of the mechs in this are CG, right?
力に飢えている人間。
Someone who thirsts for power.
もっとも、ここはレース場。多かれ少なかれ、誰しもがそうした欲求は持っているようにも思えるのですが。
Chachimaru's Tsurugi being the one looking somewhat likely. Of course, anyone in the racing profession is likely to qualify to some degree.
ですね。
Sounds possible, right? Rokuhara want power. Of course, we shouldn't go around just expecting them, but you know, it's there.
それでも異常なほどの執念を燃やしている御人がいれば目立ちましょう。注意を払ってみる価値はあると存じます。
I mean, let's think. This is a short mystery. It should typically be someone who was introduced in the first act. We're still in the first act. But of the people we've been introduced to, we have the princess, Chashimaru. And that's it so far.
はい。では、
We'll
以
split
上
up in
のよ
that
うな
vein.
方針で開始します。
We'll proceed in that vein
効
just
率
to
化の
split
た
up
め、
and cover more
手
ground.
分け
Come on, let's go, mystery gang. Yeah, someone truly is obsessed with power.
して当たってください。
Our possible suspects for a theoretical mystery are 2 people, because we haven't been introduced to anyone else. And it wouldn't make sense for any of our main cast to be it.
はい、頑張ります。
I won't let you down. I have no clue how she's gonna pretend to be a part of the racing association as like a 13-year-old girl. Well, let's just ignore that for now.
じゃあ行きましょうか。バイ
Shall
ヤ
we be off, Saya?
はまあ私どもは大体一緒くたでございますし。
Right with you, mistress. Everyone seems to treat us as one character after all.
さて、
Now, where should I begin?
では俺も行動を開始する。
気をつけなさいね。ただでさえ、あなたは人を警戒させやすいんだから。
Careful, you have a way of setting people on edge.
無用の心配だ。俺とてそうしようと思えば友好的に接するくらいのことは造作
I'm
もない。
perfectly capable of friendly conversation when the situation calls for it. Don't you ask Muramasa for help when having friendly conversations?
チーム沢田の門倉直也。
And that's how he opens. Sadokura no Naoya of Team Sawada. Real subtle, right? Yeah, I clearly want to open up to this guy who opens with my full name. Like, what does he look? I mean, he's asking after you like a cop. I don't know. We keep going.
はい
Yes?
四国大会のチャンピオン。しかし全国から猛者が集まるこの大会で勝つ見込みはあるまいともっぱらの下馬評。
You are regional champion of Shikoku. However, you are not considered a contender for the national title.
なんだよいきなり。
What the?
力が欲しくはありません
Do
か。
you desire power?
え
What are you?
あんた一体。
欲しいなら差し上げる。そう言われたら
What is this
あ
face?
なたはどうします？
If I were to offer you power beyond your wildest dreams, would you take it?
悪魔が俺を誘いに。
The devil has come for my soul! He cannot hold a single conversation. He runs screaming.
果たして
What did I do wrong? My dude, so much went wrong there. I don't even know where to start. That's not how you say hi to people. That's not a casual conversation topic. You literally scared that man so much he fled the room.
何もかもよ。
Everything.
他の3人は大丈
I
夫だ
hope the
ろう
others
か。
are doing alright.
あなたよりはずっと
Better than
ね。
you, I'm sure. You know what? It's very possible that a 14-year-old girl is actually better at bullshitting her way into some conversations and getting useful information than him there. It's actually possible. I decided to try a different tack. Peering into a nearby garage, I spot a familiar logo, Tamura Armor Works. This must be the garage for Tamura's famous racing team, which has been a powerhouse in the sport since the pre-war period.
どうなった？
Can I help you?
失礼。敵情視察といったところです。
Pardon me, I'm merely gathering information on the enemy. My answer to the mechanic's question is short and to the point. Liars are talkative. A little brusqueness helps to avoid suspicion.
ああ、ポリスチームの人？
Oh, you're from the police team.
は、そうです。
Lies about it, yeah.
自分が参加するの
I
は
am.
今回が初めてなのですが、
It's my first time
一目
participating.
で
Is
分
it,
かってしまいますか。
is it that obvious?
そりゃね、あなたみたいなコアモテで参加者って言ったら、ポリスチームくらいしかないでしょ。
A scary looking guy like you, only one team you could be on.
なるほど。
I see. While I object to some of his reasoning, his answer has given me an idea.
そうか。そういうことにしてもらえばいい。
Yeah, we should have asked to be on the placed on the police team. That's what I was thinking. Surprised they didn't do that. I'll arrange it before the day is out.
ホットボルトの調子はどうです？
How's the hot bolt running?
良好です。やはりあの機体は素晴らしい。
Very well, it's a splendid machine.
シャフト式 4WD の先駆けでありながら、あの完成度は見事というほかありません。
The quality of
メン
the
テに
design
手
is
を焼かさ
remarkable.
れるのが難点ですが、
Considering it was the first shaft-driven four-wing drive, it's a little hard to maintain, though.
よく言われます。あの時点ではとてもそこまで手が回らなかったみたいで。でも警察さんは大事に使ってくださって、うちとしても嬉しいですよ。
I get that a lot. They weren't thinking about maintenance back when they designed it. Still, it makes us happy to know you guys are taking good care of it. The mechanic smiles jovially. The other staff within earshot don't appear to resent my presence either. The police team's hot bolt is a Tamura product, which I suppose makes us family of sort, if still rivals. It should be relatively easy to gather information here.
今日はもう走らないのですか。
You going out again today?
ええ、練習は朝のうちに済ませました。本番まで期待を見せたくないんですよ、今回は。
Nah, we finished our practice in the morning. This time we're keeping our machine a secret till the main event.
つまり、
Oh, a new model.
新型ですか。
口チャックで。
Don't tell anyone.
心得ました。
Understood.
ま、明日を楽しみにしていてください。
Just look forward to tomorrow's prelim, he says, with a conspiratorial grin. I look around the garage, and while I'm sure the mechanic has some interesting stories to tell, there's someone else I need to speak with now. Takes 2 or 3 scans of the room to find the person I'm looking for. That's how small she is. At least 2 or 3 heads shorter than the burly mechanics. One might say her diminutive stature contrasts with her significance to the team.
あの人は
Your pilot?
ええ、うちのトップレーサーです。ご存知でしょ?
Yeah, our top racer. You've seen pictures, right?
もちろん雑誌で幾度も。では少し挨拶をしてき
Yes,
まし
in
ょうか。
magazines. May I pay my
どう
respects?
ぞ。ああ、ナーバスな子なんで、あまり怖がらせないであげてくださいね。
Oh, go ahead. But try not to look so scary around her. She's a bit shy.
はい。
Alright. I head off, slightly disheartened by the man's last words, made all the more biting for their lack of malice. Tamura's top racer is sitting against the wall, intent on polishing a tiny metal object. It must be part of a racing crux, though the care she's showing makes it seem more like a precious stone. The 2 brushes with a thin cloth. A pause to inspect the shine. Repeat. All racers possess a certain love for their machines, but hers appears to be stronger than average. Perhaps she's naturally inclined towards forming attachments with her equipment? She doesn't appear to have noticed my approach. I speak softly so as to not startle her.
失礼。
Excuse me. Hello? She lifts her head slowly as if coming out of a trance. I know her face and name by heart, though she certainly doesn't know mine. Her gaze seems to grip me with physical force, a quality of focus unique to armor racers.
王子ミサオさん。初めてお目にかかります。
Pleasure to meet you, Miss Oji Misato. You are?
あなたは
ポリスチームの関係者。
Minato
港
Kageaki
影明です。
with the police team. It's not a complete lie, depending on how you look at it. Still, I may not have been so quick to fall back on underhanded tactics if not for the sensation of her peering into my soul.
よろ
Such
しけれ
deep
ば
eyes.
どうかお見知りおきください。
If possible, I'd like a few moments of your time.
はい
Okay.
お噂はかねがね伺っております。昨年は各地のレー
He's
スに参
being
戦し
very roundabout.
通算10勝を達成されたとか。
Why not ask if there's anyone who's like suddenly shot up in ability or power lately? That would be an interesting proposal, right? Be like, hey, is there anyone who's gotten really good lately? Like their crux is just bananas, or their abilities have shot up hugely? If they're getting power, surely you ask that, right? She'd probably know more than anyone. Like, who's suddenly a big threat that you weren't expecting? That's something you could ask. You're like, oh, anyone you concerned about? She's like, nah, she can just say I'm good, right? Like, you ask what someone's matchups are, that seems like a reasonable thing to do. You're like, okay. How you feeling about the race? Anyone you're particularly concerned about there? Anyway, I've heard much of your accomplishments. 10 victories in a single year is no mean feat.
ええ
Yeah.
5愛機サンダーボルトのポテンシャルもあるでしょうが、やはり記録樹立の肝は
It feels like
あな
this
たの
guy's
テクニ
reading a
ック。
magazine.
中でも際立つのは陰の取り方。
While the power of your Thunderbolt is doubtless a factor, such exploits would not have been possible without your incredible cornering technique.
最短のルート選択と最小の減速幅。陳腐な表現で恐縮しますが、芸術的としか言いようが見つかりませ
You
ん。
always take the shortest route with the least acceleration. The expression is a bit overused, but art is the only way to describe it.
ありがとうございます
Thanks.
そういえばこの夏、練習中に接触事故で負傷されたと聞きましたが、大事はありませんでした
That's
か。
right, I heard you were injured in a collision over the summer. Are you alright?
大丈夫です
Fine.
そうですか。
Glad to hear that.
それは何よりのこと。
They're so standoff. She's so standoffish. After waiting half a second to make sure I'm finished, Ochi Misato returns to her work. For a supposedly shy girl, she seems untroubled by my presence, or is that how her shyness manifests? In any case, I'm unsure how to proceed. Her attitude isn't that of a celebrity, too aloof to make time for her fans, or rather, it's like she's living in a different world entirely, one no one can ever hope to reach. We were only able to communicate for a moment before some freak accident opened a channel between our world and hers. She's the Sonic Princess existing in a dimension of transcendent speed. My words may reach her, but it's foolish to expect my heart to do the same. Still, I can't back down now. If the infected racer is in this garage, it can only be her, the pilot. I need to try harder. What are you looking for, though? She's already at the top. I mean, if she fell off, maybe. I mean, if she's worried about maintaining her lead, that's also possible, but she doesn't seem to be, like, completely unnatural. And you're not going to see the frame for a bit, I guess. Or the Tsurugi for a bit. I suppose asking directly would be the easiest way, but the spectacular failure of that technique earlier is still fresh in my mind. I should try to draw information as naturally as possible during the course of a conversation. She's responding in, like, one-word answers. You're not going to get much out of this. A glance at the busy mechanics gives me a topic to work with.
このサーキットは設備が整っていますね。完全に舗装されたコースはもちろん、十分なスペースが確保されているピット、パドック、選手用宿舎に食事どころ。
This guy isn't asking anything about racing or anything that would intrigue her. This could be better. It's almost as awkward as me talking to people. Oh my goodness. This racetrack is impressive, isn't it? In addition to the fully paved course, it has a spacious pit, enough for paddocks and lodging for all teams, a cafeteria, and even a small park.
自分が学生の頃には考えられなかったことです。あの自分からレースが好きで、しばしば観戦しておりましたが、当時の競技場は実にシンプル。
It wasn't like this when I was a student. I went to the races every chance I got, but the tracks were all simple affairs.
スタンドなどなくて当然。
You were lucky to have stands.
芝生の上にゴザを敷いての見物が一般的でした。
We had to lay out mats on the grass, and there were
ガ
no
レージな
garages
どもあり
either.
ませんでしたね。
Teams brought their own tents to
参
work
加チー
in.
ムは自前でテントを
Back
立てて
in
いたも
my
のです。
day,
それでもレースは素晴らし
the
かった。
races were wonderful.
中山昇、芥田慎次郎、弘中兄弟。そう。それにあなたの父君、王子卓。
Nakayama Noboru,
彼らは悪環境をものともせず、
Akuta
見事に
Shinjiro,
かけた。
the Hironaka brothers, and your father, Oji Suguru. They didn't let the poor conditions keep them from racing with everything they had.
近在の競技場に王子卓がやってきた時のことはよく覚えています。
I still remember when Oji Suguru
その
came
時
to
の
race
大
the
会は
track near
ご
my
く
home.
小さなものでしたが、世界挑戦間近の英雄は本気の走りを見せた。
The race was small and your father already close to his world debut, but still the hero gave it his all.
彼が常にそうであったように、他のありとあらゆる選手を突き放し、最先端を孤独にかけるあの姿は、今でもまぶたの裏に焼き付いて離れま
I'll
せん。
never forget the sight of him out there, alone and untouchable.
思い出すたび、あの時の興奮が蘇って心臓の鼓動が早まります。同
Even
時
now,
に
thinking
胸
about
も
it makes
沸
my
きま
heart
す。
race. The excitement of that time is still fresh in my mind, as is the regret, if not for the war. I stop, realizing she hasn't said a word in response. I've been talking to myself this whole time. What am I doing? I close my eyes and squeeze the bridge of my nose for a moment, trying to get my mind back on track. Ask a question? This isn't working. Better just come out and ask. Thus decided, I return my gaze to the girl and am surprised by what I see. She's looking straight at me, and her deep, dark eyes have taken on a different hue. She's looking at me not as an outsider. Looking at me not as an outsider, but as one of her own. She was listening all along.
続けてください。よかったら。
Tell me more if you don't mind.
はい。
Of course. I pull myself back from the abyss of her gaze and continue.
王子卓の気候技術は、当時の世界の一線級と比べてもそう遜色なかったものと思います。
Oji Suguru's piloting technique was equal to that of the top world rankers of the time, especially his cornering.
草間を抜ける蛇にも似た独特の旋回技法は、ヤマトの騎士の中では異彩を放っていました。あの技術を模倣できた者は、かつても今も存在しません。
His unique method of weaving through turns like a snake set him apart from the rest of Yamato's racers, and to this day, no one's replicated it. I swear, this guy feels like he's just reading a racing history book to her.
実情のあなたを除いては、あなたの気候は時を追うごとに、父君のそれへ近づいてゆくように自分には思われます。
The closer your technique gets to your father's, at least that's how it looks to me.
あれはやはり、父君に手塚から教えられたものなのですか？
うん。
そうですか。嬉しく思います。王子卓は夢を断ち切られましたが、あなたがその夢を受け継ぐならば、
Pleased to hear
無
that
念も報われましょう。
Uji Tsurugi was unable to realize his dream, but with you as his successor, I have no doubt he'll be avenged.
そう思う？
You think so?
はい。
Yeah.
うん。
So do I.
世界を目指されますか？
You plan to challenge the world?
まずは国内で勝って、
First,
それから。
First, I have to take Yamato.
では、この大会は重要ですね。
So this race is essential.
勝ちます。必ず。最初の全国王者になる。
I'll win. I'll become the first national champion, no matter what. Misato clenches her fist tightly, suddenly seeming to tower over me. To conquer the world of speed is no easy task, but she appears to be up for the challenge.
力を求める理由は
He
あ
has
る
reason
か。
to seek power. I'm ashamed of myself for the thought. Misato speaks only out of love for her father.
強敵と思われる相手はいますか？
Who are you watching out for? That's a bit better.
やっぱり小京かな。それに横丹。
Chokyo, of course, and Yokotan. Chokyo weapon systems and Tamura armor works have been rivals for decades, and Yokotan, Yokomori Tanso, while not as respected in Yamato, has overcome entrenched prejudice to earn a strong reputation in Europe, the home of armor racing. Both opponents are sure to bring their strongest machines.
確かに、その両者でしょうね。特に小京はおそらく、噂だけは聞いている。アプティマ系列の最終完成形を投入してくるでしょうか。
I agree, they present the greatest threat. Shokyo especially is rumored to have brought the final model in the Optima line.
ごめんなさい。
Sorry.
はい。
Pardon?
ポリスチームは、私はホットボルト好きだから。
About the police team, I like Hot Bull.
ああ、いえ。
Oh,
あり
thank
が
you.
とうございます。
So do I.
自分も好きです。
It's an awkward show of concern, but I find it endearing.
仕方がありません。レースに勝つためには金が必要です。
The way it
い
goes,
か
right?
に優れたスタッフがいても、
You need
資
money to
金
win
が不足
races.
していてはどうにもならない部分があります。
Even the best staff in the world can only do so much without funding.
お金のことはとて
Yeah,
も
money
大
is
変。
money's tough.
ポリスチームの運営は局内外の有志の寄付に頼っています。潤沢な資金は望めません。
And remember, the police can't
警
do
察の予算
anything.
から
I
費用を
don't
取れれば
I
少
don't
し
feel
は
like
楽
it's
になる
super
のでしょ
awkward
う
for
が。
them to be just goofing
ま
off
さか
or
ですし、
racing on their own on the side if they can't even like actually help people doing anything. As dumb as it is, it's like, yeah, well, at least it's something. They're reaching out to the community and maintaining a presence. It's cool. The police team's supported entirely by donations, so I'm afraid the best equipment is out of our reach. It'd be easier if we could dig into the police budget, but such a misuse of funds could start a riot. The money comes straight from the people's pockets.
今回はあなたを応援させていただきます。同じ田村の剣を扱う者として。
As a Tamura customer, I'll be rooting for you this time.
ありがとう。
先ほどスタッフの方から伺いました。田村も新型機を投入するそうですね。
Heard from one of your staff you're planning to unveil a new model?
うん。最新型、田村の技術を全部集めた
Brand
結
new?
晶。
The culmination of all our skill and technology.
興味をそそられます。公表は明日とのことですから。
I'm interested, but the race is tomorrow. So I'll refrain from.
これ。
Here. Pardon? Misato holds out her hand, revealing the object she's been polishing the whole time. It's a small metal sphere, one of the wing actuator bearings from a racing Crux. Of course, she's working on their secret weapon. While the maintenance is a mechanic's job, not every task requires specialized training. There's simple things even an amateur can do, and no law against racers working on their own craft. Whether they do is up to the racer's personal preference, and many consider it a point of pride never to touch the machine's innards. Misato appears to be the opposite sort.
これが新型機ですか。道理で大切に扱っていると思いました。
So this is part of the new model. No wonder you're so careful with it.
うん。
It's precious.
大切。
More precious than my life.
私の命よりも大切。
そうですか。
I see.
きっと
A lot of work must have
大
gone
変
into
な
it.
労力を費やして作られたのでしょうね。
Yeah, Dad's blood, sweat and tears.
これはお父さんの血と汗。
The only way she'd accept this upgrade, the questionable upgrade, is if it wasn't ready for production or had production issues.
体の一部だから大切にするの。
Part of him. So it's part of me.
失礼。まさか新型機というのは
You mean to say
父君
your father
王
Oji
子卓氏が設計されたものな
designed
の
this
ですか？
machine? Oji Suguru hadn't made a public appearance since his retirement. There were rumors of him coaching his daughter. Rumors that appeared to be true, but even at his races, he never showed his face. I doubt there's anyone who'd have guessed he was designing Cruxes.
お父さんに会いたい？
Want to meet him?
ええ。
Certainly. Is he here?
ここにいらっしゃるのですか？
This guy's starstruck. Yeah, hold on.
ちょっと
Or I
待
guess
って
he
て。
would have to follow through, right? Even if he actually... He'd have to follow through after what he said anyway.
お父さん、
Dad? Misato lifts her voice, though not enough to break through the commotion in the garage. Fortunately, a nearby mechanic hears her and runs to the back of the room. I see him point me out to someone.
どうした、ミサオ。
Oh, it's Misao? Asks the gaunt man who approaches.
この人ポリスチームの人。昔お父さんのレースを見たことがあるんだって。
This guy's from the police team. He saw you race before.
ああ、それは。
The man turns to look at me. At first, his thin features trigger no memories. The Oji Suguru I knew didn't wear glasses, nor was his manner as pleasant as this. But upon closer inspection, I realized if you take the glasses off and turn back the clock a couple decades, it would indeed be that hero standing before me. As for his kindly demeanor, I recall once reading he was a very different person in private life. There's no trace in his gentle, even timid smile of the ravenous fury with which he dominated the track, but still, there's no question he is Oji Suguru.
港影明と申します。お会いできて光栄です。かつてあなたに夢中で声援を送った人間の一人として。
Minato Kageki. It's an honor to meet you, sir. I remember cheering for you until my throat was
い
raw.
や、恐縮です。王子卓です。しかしどうか僕がここにいることはご内密に。
The honor is mine. I'm Oji Suguru. As you've guessed, please don't tell anyone I'm here.
と言われますと。
I ask why not?
もう表舞台には立たないと決めていまして、自分なりに王子卓には決着をつけているんですよ。
I decided years ago to
そ
leave
れをま
public
た
life
掘り
behind
返
me.
されるのもちょっとね。
It was my way of closing the book on the legend of Oji Suguru. To have that book reopened now would be...
なるほど。
I see. Takes a few seconds, but I grasp what he's trying to say. He doesn't want anyone stirring up rumors about Oji Suguru returning to the track. I think I can sympathize with that.
申し訳ありません。そういうことな
I
ら、自
apologize.
分のようなものもご
My
不快で
presence
しょう。
must be an annoyance then.
ああ、いや、そういう意味で言ったんでは。こちらこそ申し訳ない。しまった。皮肉なようなことを言ってしまいましたね。
That's not what I meant. I should be the one apologizing. It sounded like it was aimed at you, didn't it?
あなたのような方とお会いするのは嬉しいんですよ。昔の自分がプロとしてお客さんを喜ばせてあげられていたと知ることが不愉快なわけはありません。
Good to know I gave my fans a good show.
くすぐったくもありますけどね。嫌ではないです。決して。
Embarrassing, but far from unwelcome.
そうですか。
As a fan, I appreciate hearing that from you. My relief is genuine, and I can tell he's being honest. Misato's looking up at me from her seat, a hint of pride in her placid expression.
しかし、驚きました。あなたが開発側の立場でアーマーレースに携わっておられたと
I
は。
have to admit, this is a surprise. I never thought that you'd be involved in armor racing as a designer.
ああ、ミサオに聞きましたか。ええ、今言ったことと矛盾するみたいですが、やっぱり世界の夢は諦められなくて。
Did Misao tell you? That's right. Despite what I just said, I couldn't fully give up on the dream of taking the world.
無理からぬことと思います。あなたは世界へ指先をかけておられた。何事もなければ、そのまま登っていたでしょう。
If all went as planned, you would have kept climbing till you reached the top.
戦争さえなければ。
Not for the war.
ええ。
His tone is measured, but the tightness I glimpse around his eyes hints at something beneath the surface. The war. That's what ended Oji Suguru's dream. He just completed his conquest of Yamato and was about to make his world debut when the hostilities began, and by the time the war ended, he was past his physical prime. I can hardly imagine the frustration he must have felt, powerless to resist as everything he had worked for was stolen from him.
失礼。無神経なことを口にしました。
Pardon, that was insensitive of me.
ああ、いや、
No, it's fine.
お気になさら
I've
ず
put that behind me.
済んだことですし、気持ちの整理はついていますよ。
Now this, something tells me, is a lie.
それに僕の代わりに娘が飛んでくれますからね。僕の開発した機体で。
Besides, I have my daughter to fly in my place, and with the machine I built.
にわかには信じがたい思いです。騎手を引退後、一から勉強を始められたのですか？
To be honest, it's hard to believe. Did you study design from scratch after retiring?
それはさすがに。僕はもともとメカの方だったんですよ。試作品のテストをするうちに飛び方を覚えて、いつの間にかそちらが本業にと
I
いう
started
運
out
び
as
で。
a mechanic, actually. I learned to fly while testing new designs, and at some point it became my real job, so it goes.
そうでしたか。
First I've heard of it, or not. I seem to remember rumors to that effect.
あなたが言った通り、僕は一度騎手として世界に指をかけて、そして転げ落ちました。しかし今、戻ってき
Good
たんで
luck
すよ。
racing, old
か
man,
つての
old
場所
racer.
へ。
As he said,
今度は開発者として。
Are we still going? As he said, I tried and failed to conquer the world as a racer. Now I'm back. Back where I belong, and only this time, as the designer.
田村の技術の結晶とか。
I hear your Crux is the culmination of Tamura's skill and technology.
そんなことを言ったのか、ミサオ。
Is that what you told him, Misa?
うんだってそうだもの
Yes, because it is.
山崎さんが聞いたら怒るぞ。あれの開発ではだいぶ対立したからな。
Kamazaki wouldn't like you saying that. He opposed my design the whole way.
でも
But
相当な作品を仕上げられたようですね。
sounds like you've assembled quite the machine.
どうでしょう。田村始まって以来の打作になるかもしれません。その可能性はあります。
I wonder if someone
すで
who's
に
not
そ
in
う
the
声
company
高に
would
言っているも
implant
の
it
も
with the
社
seed.
内にはいま
That's
すよ。
possible. Like the company rep might implant it with the seed. That's possible, right? They're like, I don't believe in it. I'm gonna give it this boost. I wonder if it might be the biggest piece of junk I've ever produced. Well, at least that's what the company thinks.
あなた自身は
What do you think?
さて、明日の一戦をご覧あれというところですかね。
Well, we'll just have to see, won't we?
自信は十分と。
Sounds like confidence to me. Yep. Absolutely. He's like, let's find out. He tries to laugh it off, but I hear nothing in his tone that contradicts my assumption. Perhaps it's time to be going. I shouldn't keep the Tamura team from their work any longer, and I'm concerned about Ichijo and the captain. Should I go look for them or? But we should probably leave. Just hanging out and talking seems unproductive. I mean, theoretically, we could get further, find some more stuff out. I'm kind of tempted to check on Ichijo or Kanai. I don't know which one's more important. Ichijo, I don't know what she's doing. Kanai, I also don't know. This is an interesting choice. We presumably get a unique scene with either Ichijo or Kanai. But who would I check on if I was playing this character? I wouldn't stick here. I'd probably go somewhere else and see how it's going. Maybe check on Ichijo? Kanei has probably got the whole bullshittery thing down. Now she might be talking to Chachamaru, and that might be a key. So here's the thing. I think Ichijo is where our character might go. With some amount of meta knowledge, Kanei is who we should go to. Might be who we should go to. If we want a chance to check out Chachamaru. Because she's hella sus. I'm just gonna go with Ichijo, because I don't know, I need to make sure she's not messing things up and see what she can do. She might be sneaking around instead of talking to people though. I don't think people would buy that like a 14-year-old girl's actually on the police racing team. Ichijo should be around here somewhere. Where is she and what she's doing? I don't know, but I don't think we're gonna find out tonight.